Welcome, 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 welcome. We live. Welcome to the Elite Podcast. Welcome to the Elite Podcast, episode 56. Featuring Akin Joseph. I hope everybody doing well. Hope everybody doing well. You know, um, Shout outs to everybody. Hope everybody had a good week. Hope everybody being safe. Hope everybody being healthy. It's a hectic time these days and everything. So I just hope everybody does doing well. I appreciate everybody always tuning in, always supporting the Elite Podcast, man. So much love to everybody and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So my week is going good. I feeling great. Can't complain and everything. So I just putting up some information here. But blessings to everybody. Welcome to everybody tuning in. Welcome to everybody tuning in. You know what I'm saying? Some of the Facebook's user, when you guys comment, I don't see your name unless I go on the Facebook. I ain't on Facebook yet with my phone, but big up to everybody tuning in and stuff like that. Much love to everybody. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the shout outs out the way real quick. So we got the legends340.com, legends340.com. Much love to the legends340. Make sure you guys go out and check out the website. They're always showing love to the Elite Podcast and stuff like that. So definitely shout out to legends340.com. We got Savory Eats LLC based in Orlando by Sheena Fontaine too. And then she doing food sale and stuff like that. So you guys are in the Orlando area, nearby in the outskirts, you guys can always hit her up. You can check out our Facebook. We got the Good Life Apparel. Also, so big up to Natu. Much love to him. We got Andrea with Melted Pot Cooking Class, and that's our Instagram, Melted Pot Cooking Class. Also, meltedpotcookingclass.com. We got Sebone Caribbean Restaurant. We got Apollo Legion. We also got Island Destiny 340, and that's our Instagram, Serenity Braids by Nikki. We also got Rico Canario. His website is www.lulu.com/spotlight/R Canario. You guys check out his website, check out his Facebook. He got a lot of important information and history about the VI in sports and just VI history in general. We also got Redway Service Station located in Princess next to Avis as the only locally owned gas station at St. Croix. We also got Paris Enterprise. Also follow on Facebook Live Wire Sports. They live every Tuesday, 7 p.m. We also got Midnight Entertainment. Follow on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and also TikTok at The Real Midnight. Also follow on Facebook at Real Midnight ENT. We also got Next Level Up Printing. Big up to Chico Harris. So make sure you guys check him out. We also got OliviaDesir.com. We got Bubbles Promotion. Also follow on Facebook at Brino's Kitchen. Big up to Pastor Mona Barnes. Follow on Facebook at City of Refuge Worship Center. They live stream every Sunday, 10 a.m. We also got Carlos Atkins with his AIM Credit Repair LLC. So if you guys struggling with your credit, definitely you guys can hit Carlos up. AIM Credit Repair LLC. We also got Dwayne Crosser with his Calypso Clothing LLC. I think in one of the stores back home, I see him post where they're selling his clothing line. So congrats, Dwayne, for all your hard work and everything. Continue to do what you're doing. You are big inspiration to everybody. You're a positive person. You always supporting everybody, and I appreciate you always checking up on me and making sure everything good, man. So I definitely want to give you a big shout out, man, because you're a positive person, and that's what the world needs. They need people like you. You know what I'm saying? So big up to Dwayne Krauser and his Calypso Clothing LLC. Also, Hungry Hearts Hustle. I'm wearing one of Hungry Hearts Hustle. I purchased some shirts. This is one of them. He has some dope shirts too as well too. So Hungry Hearts Hustle. The website is www.hungryheartshustleapparel.com. So big up to Y Eugene. He doing his thing too as well. So you guys can check out his Facebook as well too. Check out the website. We also got On the Edge Performance LLC. And then their Instagram is On the Edge Performance. Also on YouTube and Facebook, On the Edge Performance. So you guys check them out. Definitely check them out. So they're doing big things as well. And they got the phone number 786-202-0682. And also they got the email at andtheperformance@gmail.com. Sometimes I can't even read my own writing, which is sad, But you guys definitely support On the Edge Performance as well too. We also got C Boogie Talks, and they're available. He goes live every Thursday 9 p.m. C Boogie Talks at Thursdays 9 p.m. So big up to Christopher Henry. So big up to everybody in the everybody on the live, man. Appreciate you guys supporting. Let me get to these comments, you know what I'm saying, so I can make sure I big everybody up and say hi to everybody and stuff like that. Much love to Dave Hughes, Big Bamboo 340, big up, big up, big up. You know, much love, everybody. Much love, Carrier. Much love. Big up to all, everybody. Some of you guys is just showing the Facebook user, so I can't call your name because I don't know. Miss Senator Winnica, good evening. Big up and congrats to everything you're doing. Much love. You are inspiration as well. So you're doing good thing. So Senator Winnica, big up yourself. Big up yourself and congrats. Hopefully we could get you on the podcast in March. March is Women's Month, where we honoring nothing but females from all over the VI, abroad, wherever the case may be. That's the goal. And hopefully Karen, Carty, and oh my gosh. Geez, I'm forgetting her name. This is sad. This is not good. Somebody help me out here. Miss Richard's sister, what's her name? Vanderbilt Finest. Please, somebody help me out in the chat. I drawing blank. Trust me, I'm drawing dead. But actually, I'm gonna go ahead and just look for her name. So we're gonna do a little pause because I got to say her name. So. Oh my gosh, this is not good. This is embarrassing. And nobody help you out in the chat. That's not good. Dr. Christine Kelly, and Karen Carty. Hopefully we could have them on sometime, couple times, during the month of March, so we could just show love to all the females because they're doing big things and everything. And the world is crazy these days because a lot of females are unfortunately getting, dying in the hands of, abusive ex-boyfriends and stuff like that. If you guys read the news, you guys see it. It's very common lately for some reason, man. It's sad, but I really don't want to get off topic. So definitely much love to all the women and doing the things them out there, man. Especially from the VI and stuff like that. So much love to everybody. So we'll get right into it. Previous episode we had Akeem Maynard, man. Big up to Chemo. Amazing episode. If you guys haven't catch the episode last week, it's on YouTube. You guys go check it out, man. He's doing big things, man. It was just amazing. All the information. He's training a lot of athletes. His head is in the right place. Big up to his dad too as well. And you could tell he's a student of the game, man. He learned a lot, and he's just spreading his knowledge and his wisdom. He has a lot of goals for the VI, so hopefully things could happen in place and good things could happen, man. So definitely, big up to Chemo, man. Much love to him. So big up Robert. Yeah, definitely it should be another good one. I talked to listen, this is the first time I ever met Akin. So big up to Tegan. Tegan had a little family situation, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to Tegan. I hope everything goes well with everything. I don't want to put his business out there if nobody doesn't know it or anything like that. So, but much love to Tegan and everything. Big up to Pang as well, too. Not sure where Pang is at, but much love to Pang as well, too. Big up to Robert. I met Akin, man, and we talked on the phone. I think the first time we talked for almost like an hour. And I just can't wait to hear his story, man. A lot of great information, a lot of good stuff. So I just can't wait. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm not gonna hold you guys hostage any more longer. We're gonna bring Akin in right now. So former professional basketball player, former college basketball player, straight out of Rock City. Much love. I appreciate Akin Joseph giving us a chance to celebrate and honor him. So welcome to the Elite Podcast, Mr. Joseph.
Hey. You can hear me all right?
I could hear you perfect.
Everything. Perfect. Shout out to everybody that watching. So it's my pleasure, man. Hobbs is a trip.
That's my boy. That's my partner. That's my lunch league coach. Yeah, that's my lunch league coach right there.
Hey, that's my boy too, man. We had some great days, some great days. I could see him laughing right now.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So welcome, man. How you doing, man? How's everything?
Yeah, everything good, man. Thank God for life, right? Despite um, the times we in now is such a interesting time with social unrest and the pandemic and just everything that's happening is you have to just be blessed that you have life, you have breath, you have health, and I can't ask for anything more, especially in these times. So I'm doing well.
That's good to hear, man. That's good to
Yeah,
hear. It's good to hear, man. Yeah, man. So we got you out, man, and everybody ex excited. I'm excited, man. Before we start, you want to give any shout outs, anything, any family members, friends, etc.
that's the interesting part about this story is that I don't have a lot of family back home, but I definitely want to shout out my family, my close supports, my wife Tricia Joseph, my son Javen Joseph, my daughter Jordan Joseph. But other than that, my mother Gail Hughes, who still lives home. But other than that, back home, I don't have a lot of family out there, but I had a lot of supporters. Cyril Benjamin, the biggest mentor I had, and all my friends I played with, like Tegan, big up Pang. That's the first Matrix I ever see in my life. With all these hands and playing the passing lanes. But it was such an honor and privilege to be a part of that group because it was a special group. So big up to that group that listening. Big up Hops, big up Langolo.
Yeah. Big up, Lagalo. Big up everybody tuning in. Big up everybody tuning in.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man. So, Akin, man, how did it all begin? How we all started?
Yeah, that's an interesting story. It started in Brooklyn, New York. That's why I was born in Brooklyn, New York. My mother from Grenada, my father from Trinidad, and spent the first 5 6 years in New York. And then for whatever reasons, my mom lived in St. Thomas, and we decided to move to St. Thomas. So I was always athletic, man. Always loved basketball from New York days. I'm a big Knicks fan, and sports was a big deal. My father played soccer, my mother played netball, right? So sports was, you ain't know we had much of nothing. Grew up tough, so go outside, play, run, all the things that youth should be doing today. We were doing, right? So
True that.
get on to St. Thomas, and the first thing I really fell in love with was baseball. So just because everybody playing outside against the wall, you draw a box, you get tennis ball, you get a stick, and you know what time it is, right? So you're playing anywhere you can find a wall, and just we were playing, and I felt like I was good enough to play little league until I started playing with Pico and some of these people, and I realized like, you know what, maybe I ain't too, I ain't that good because like how Pico play the game, they're telling me maybe it's something else you need to find. And I wasn't, I wasn't that good in baseball, but Pico, looking back at it, was such a phenom at his age.
Yeah.
How hard he hit the ball and the way he moved. He was always a bigger dude. He was just a phenom, and didn't really understand. I just thought they were that much behind, but he was such that much ahead. So I transferred to track and field. Um, Again, athletic. You're searching, right? You're
True
searching.
that.
So
Yeah.
I come up, you bump back into basketball full circle and start to really fall in love with the game, the details of the game, and kind of take it from there. So, um, around 9, 10, 11, start playing in leagues, a lot of leagues. But again, I want the popular dude. I want making the papers. I want the name that will roll off your tongue. In fact, probably half the people that know probably know who I is. And I understand that, but I just want that dude who everybody talked about. It was just a hard worker, had talent, had raw ability, but needed it to be nourished. So, I met CB in Garden Street. I was living in Garden Street. Met CB, and he invited me to come out to Winston Raymond and play. And slowly but surely, things start coming together. But still, again, was still raw. So continue to follow the game, continue to play all day, all night, like all the youth them would do, and just continue to play the game and fall in love with it. I think what started to separate me, Mumba, a little bit as I look back is that I became a student of like the details of the game,
Okay.
right? So um, I start to understand how to come off a pick, screen and roll, footing, just different things that you never really were taught. It was talked about, but it wasn't really taught to you.
Yeah.
So I start to get in the details of the game, and I think that's what further, allowed me to continue playing later on because I got into the details earlier than expected, right? Based on the group. So, that's kind of like part 1A of the story that I was just, playing with the mandem. And, for me, as I growing up and I mentored by CB, I start to go build a relationship with this man named Gilpin, who had a store named Sportorama in Savannah. And he was also the head coach for UVI, right? So I was young,
Okay.
a young dude, 10, 11, and we riding bike everywhere, but I still want to play ball. I want to play more ball, more ball. And he invited me to come down there to be the ball boy, right? And I said, of course, I just want to be around
Yeah.
college basketball players.
Yeah. That's
Um,
nice. It's a dream.
yeah, yeah. So I used to ride my bike down there, or wherever, and Gilpin started putting me in the drills. So Schoolie, shout out Schoolie, and a couple other dudes were on that team. But one in particular, I used to really like his game. The name was Sunil Charles from St. Croix. So shout out to Sunil. I was a
Yeah.
young dude, and I always used to kind of follow him. I think I follow him so much he nicknamed me Little Penny, and me had nothing a Penny Hardaway in my game, but he must have seen something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I was just a hung and everything. I used to always watch his game, getting to the rim. I always like to see him play and everything. And I said, man, this is really awesome to kind of really emulate this dude. So we're connected that way with St. Croix basketball, right? Like that my first understanding, like you get talent around, you get enough talent for you to look up to because you're always looking for mentors, you're always looking for outside of what you're seeing, you're always looking for someone you could relate to. And I felt like my game, I could relate to Sunil at the time, right?
Yeah.
At that time. So years go by and I never really keep in contact like that. It was just kind of like when Sunil come over, we would play one on one, and he would, and I would get better little by little and kind of lose contact. But from there, it helped my game, right? It helped my game. So, continuing to mature, going through conquering. Again, I want somebody. My name want to roll off your tongue, but at that time, now you start seeing Stephen Hodge name in the newspaper. You start seeing Kevin Shepard. And as you're going to high school, now it's Ladawa John, Kassim. And then you're seeing Ghost, Tony Francis, and all these names, right? So when
Yeah.
they come over for the tournament, the reason why I went in that pile is because when I went high school, I went to a private school, and
Right.
everybody else went between Eudorican and high school. So I
Yeah.
used to come watch the game. Them, I went playing in the game. Them. You see what I mean? I only went to the private school because I want to get better. Me want to follow and go everybody going, because
Gotcha.
it too stuck up and everybody
Yeah.
thought they were crazy. But truth be told, I had lead the league in scoring, that was the truth of that 1 year. So that was my ninth grade year. And it was a good situation for me because I developed a lot fast forward. 10th grade, half of the year were there, and then I left the island. And this when things really kind of blossom for me, when I leave.
Yeah.
So I could pause there. I could pause there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So 10th grade. So 10th grade, you left the island. How did you want to leave?
Bad. I wanted to
Okay.
leave from 6th grade
Oh wow.
because I used to go Pueblo, right? Look how bad I had, if you're gonna laugh. My mother, we struggle, right? So you're on WIC, you're on bless my mother heart, man. She did everything she could do to just keep me going. But the one thing I couldn't get is a pair of sneakers, so I had to get some Smegs,
Yeah. Yeah.
from Pueblo. So when I go and pick up my Smeg, the Smegs that when you shake the shoe, it had the rock in it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, but hey,
That's
that's what you
crazy.
had.
Yeah,
That's
you
what
got
you
to.
had.
Yeah, yeah, that's
And
true.
so I used to go to the magazine section and read all about the high school players in the States
Mm.
and really stay that they used to run me from there because we couldn't afford to buy the magazine. Either we're gonna buy it or I want teeth it.
Yeah,
So I
that's true.
ain't want teeth. So ultimately I was stay there reading the magazine. And this is how I was educating myself on like I gotta get out of hand because I saw the game differently, right? Like in the Virgin Islands, unfortunately, I hope they change it. You only play like 10 or 12 games.
Yeah,
That ain't enough to attract scouts. That just ain't enough basketball. And we only playing each other and that kind of thing. So it's just not enough to go where for the most part. And I was
that's
just
true.
seeing all these other these college these high school phenoms and the schools what they were doing. So I wanted to go. I wanted to go bad, bad, bad because everybody were going Piney Woods or some other place, and I wanted to go and start my own journey somehow, you know.
Yeah,
So the story as it now this is when things kind of really take off because I was mentally getting prepared to leave. I was done ready to leave from sixth grade. You know what I mean? So I was mentally prepared. And Jabari, if you know him, Jabari Brown,
yeah.
um, who it was me and he went to Miami first. It was me, he, and Libot went to Miami. All three of we and like we went up there. We went to a Catholic high school. Was pure trash. The school was before we touch it. A long story short, we take a school that was two and they only won 3 games the year before, and we turn it to 34-3 or something like that, and we lose
Wow.
in the state championship the first year. And I was a leading scorer at that team. Jabari was really killing too, but I was a scorer and I was a leading scorer at that team, and then the scouts them were just all over the place. So our first year, man, I was getting Division 1 letters from all over the place,
And
all over the country. But I was mentally prepared. I was, mentally preparing for that time, that
yeah,
moment, because
that's
I
good.
wanted to. Yeah, I already see myself, in some of these situations, and it was just time to take off. And obviously, look, the draw was Jabari. Let me be honest.
Yeah,
6'11" Marcus can be kind of dude running up and down. He had this. I mean, the place was packed with scouts, but I was playing both sides of the floor too. So I was
yeah.
scoring and playing D and like so. Things went well, man. And we're top 100 in the country since recruited, not recruited, but recruited well, and like signed with FIU of all schools, partly because of Raja. Raja was a mentor for me, and me and Jabari went to FIU from there. So it was a blessing that everything was able to come full circle, and we got to enjoy the opportunity to sign.
Okay. So we have a question from Langolo. She want I got we got Pang in right now. I gotta make sure he
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
And then once I bring Pang in, once Pang good, I'll bring him in. And then once Pang, you say what you have to say, you guys catch up. We gonna
yeah.
get to Langolo question because I want to
Okay,
get to Langolo question because I know
okay.
you got both to pick with Pang. So we definitely gonna get into all of that. I could see Pang like smiling and laughing in the background right now. So you know, so I'm gonna bring Pang in, and then we gonna get to a Langolo question. So we gonna definitely get to that question because we kind of end on the FIU part. Okay, and her
Mhm.
question has to do with FIU. All right, so we got Pang coming in. Pang, you good?
Akin, what you saying, my boy?
Hey man, I ain't seen you in a long time.
Yeah, man, it's been what over like 20 years.
20 years, right?
Yeah,
Some
20
And you
years.
legends.
used to look like you age. What is going on with you, man?
Man, I you gotta stop saying that, son. I feel my age. Trust me.
You feel your age? It's good to see you in good spirits, man, and definitely proud of what y'all doing here with this forum. Appreciate it.
My hey, thanks, man. Same here, man. Good to see the man.
Appreciate it.
Um,
Yeah.
a lot of people may not know that we got a chance to play against each other in college.
Yeah.
So,
And I didn't know, like, well, let me ask you, you were with that team when we is y'all we beat to go to the thing? To the
no, it,
tournament?
it had to been
It was Barber Scotia?
probably um
It was okay, it may have been Barber Scotia, but the first time I don't know if it was at the story behind this. I don't know if you remember it. I don't know when the first time we see each other, if it were at y'all gym or our gym. I think it was in Jacksonville.
mhm.
I think so. I don't know. I don't remember, but I had a bone to pick with the coach because like now a personal issue I had with him. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So every time the shot, I say, listen, if I don't close out, and like I was talking to here, say if I don't come out and close out, it could be a long night, you know. So because after two dribbles over half court, I don't know if you were there, but after
Mhm.
two dribbles over half court, I was rising up.
Pulling up, yeah.
Yeah. So I looking at him, you know what I mean? And he looking at me, and he had this white. I remember this white ring around him. I had a personal. It was a personal issue I had with he. You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
it's good to see you, man. Definitely.
Likewise, man. Likewise, likewise.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yes, sir.
was
Yes, sir.
listening in the background while I was preparing.
Yeah.
Excuse me for being late, everybody. I
Nah, you're
actually
good.
just wake up from this morning,
Oh,
so
damn.
I
Damn.
was not out.
Jeez. You're not, yeah. That's, yeah. I know that type of sleep, brother. You got to get them type of sleep, though.
Yeah, me ain't sleep last night, and
Oh, no?
no, I've been up all night. When I did try to go to sleep, it was time to go and play ball. So I just stay up, man. I just take a shower, get my eyes open a little bit. I went and play ball, and when I got home, I get me some food to eat, and that was it. And so I crash, and I just wake up.
Yeah, man. That's rough, brother. That is rough. That's rough.
You got a good life.
Hey, like I tell you, I feel my age.
Yeah.
All right, so we have a question here from we have two questions. We have a question here from Langolo. Tell us about the recruitment process and how you ended up at FIU.
Yeah, the recruitment process was interesting. That's a good question. Honestly, we were starving, right? Me and Barry and Lebo, we were starving, and we were getting recruited from a lot of schools, Florida State. I mean, a lot of big schools, just because of what we did in the 2 years, right? And the amount of points scored and all of that. And FIU really ain't had no chance, in the beginning because like they were the smallest school recruiting us. And like they step it up. And pardon me, if you remember this, but in Chicago, I'm gonna get to that. But we used to they set up a thing where like because there's enough time passed, so I could tell you, they used to put money in fruity pebble boxes and sedanos in certain aisles and tell us where it was for us to. So we thought like
Wow.
FIU, I care more about we because we used to go march, we used to go and bling out me and Barry, used to go and buy food. We like we live in the life because we taking money and everything like that. But like that was partly the choice because we felt like they cared more than the other schools. Other schools were doing it legal.
Mm.
They were kind of convincing us illegally. So, lack of direction from us, like understanding that, that's part of the game. It wasn't the worst decision in the world, but it could have worked out better. The recruiting process, well, I ain't take no visits. So me get all my letters there. All the calls them that were coming to the office for me and Barry, because we would take, it was a whole cool, like we got nobody is supposed to tell us. We get them all the information after we sign. You know
Mm.
what I mean? Morris State, I know used to be calling all the time. Because well, all the island boys over there, So the recruiting process, they were interesting. It was a blessing, I enjoyed it. It comes down to your SAT scores and your ability with your fit. Like for me as a small guard, so I ain't fortunate like Barry 6'11" could play, run the floor, could do anything, gonna get time. So I had to be careful with my decisions. So I went, for me, FIU, Carlos were down there, Roger were down there. I saw how they were playing ball. They were open, press, kind of like a Kentucky style, and that's how I used to play. So it was a good decision for me. But the recruiting process was good. It was great.
And we have another question here. What schools were you considering besides FIU? You personally, that you had in
Yeah,
mind?
I wanted to go to Florida State. I used to get all like, man, I still have all their letters. They used to send me letters and when you get a handwritten letter, you know what time it is. Like they're really interested. And the coach at that time, his name was Steve Robinson. And I used to see him to all our games. Them used to be pumped. When I tell you pump, me, Roger, Carlos, the whole FIU team had people from the Miami Heat used to come to our games then because we used to play against Keon Doolin and all these people, Udonis, Steve Blake, all them. You see what I'm saying? So it was like standing room only. The court were like this big because it was so pumped. You know what I mean? Like you had to get it 2 hours before because they had a line because you had like 10 NBA players on the court.
That's crazy,
man.
Yeah, it was serious. It was a real deal, and so you must get recruited with them kind of atmosphere if you're playing 2025 and you're playing both ends of the floor.
Man, I honestly didn't know you was there when Roger Bell and Carlos Arroyo been there.
I wasn't to FIU. I was younger,
Oh, okay.
It's when Raja leave, when he graduate, I adjust freshman. I play 1 year, I start 1 year with Carlos in the backcourt. That's a next story because we used to fight every practice, bro. Like Carlos want to do what he want to do. And Carlos get a ball and a string, to be honest with you, like you got to get better every day because he handle was
Tough.
serious.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he could run that pick and roll and like, but he want to do what you want to do and he don't want to get touched. And so we used to fight because I want playing physical. You know what I mean? And so, but that was a good learning experience too for me playing with a guard like that because Carlos was legit. He's elite. That's for sure.
Yeah, Carlos is nice.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So like how was your like your time outside of basketball? How was your time at FIU? Like is that a school that you would recommend to young kids growing up and like how was your
Yeah.
time there?
Man, that was the best. Outside of our trips them to Milwaukee and Chicago, we could touch on that. that was the that was the best time of my life because like 60,000 students at the time is an international flavor. You come into, it's just a lot of things going on. The infrastructure that's there and the reputation that's there was phenomenal then and like incredible now, So you can't beat a school like that with the weather, the infrastructure, and just the sheer magnitude of it. I mean, the experience was great. The only problem was the classes then were too big. There were like 200 people in a class, like in an auditorium setting. So like, if you're failing, you go
you
you're
gonna
gonna be
fail.
trouble.
You must fail.
You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful the types of classes where you could because they don't know you by name, they know you by ID number.
Hmm.
So
It's true.
and they could care less unless you're winning if you have games that week or whatnot, unless you're winning. So um but it was a great experience, man. It turned you into an adult pretty quickly. Yeah.
You mentioned some of the names. Now, did when you were there, were you guys still playing against the Keon Doolin and the Steve Blake and Udonis Haslam and stuff, or they had already moved on to the NBA?
They Steve were in Maryland, Udonis were at Florida, but and Keon were at Missouri. But the thing is the summer leagues then when everybody come back. You see what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
FIU was a place everybody were coming to play summer ball. So from the Heat players to all the big time college athletes like we had serious runs in the summer. That's why I never went back home. I just stay up and just try to get better being around these people. They had some serious runs, Pang. Serious run.
For the people that are not listening, that those
Yeah.
three that we mentioned, they might not know. Keon Doolin, Steve Blake, Udonis Haslam, legends in that Miami area. Especially a lot of people may not
True.
know Steve Blake is this man used to outscore anybody that got here in Florida. Anybody. So that's why those names is important to just highlight them man career coming up in high school. That man is legend in Florida. For
Yeah,
anybody.
man. Yeah. Yeah. And you're right about that. It's like unless Roger were playing in them runs too, Carlos were playing in them runs, then you had a next one named Lucas Barnes, who's a
Mm-hmm.
next legend. Um, all the UM players, they had a bunch of them. Like when you went in the Vashawn Leonard, oh gosh, when you went in, Tim Hardaway used to be in there, and his son, Tim Hardaway Jr.
Mm-hmm.
He used to come to when you were a little boy, just playing around, rolling on the ball and thing. Me myself realized this dude like 6'5". When I'm watching him on TV, I was shaking my head because like, man, this dude turned out to be a really great pro. You know what I mean? But them runs were locked. They had to lock the doors them, because nobody could come in. They used to put blinders on the windows so nobody could see it because it were legendary runs, man. It was serious. Like to your point, Pong, like Udonis Haslam is like the Prince of Miami. He's still actually playing.
Right.
Jeez, the man down there for real.
Yeah, yeah. So if you use basketball at that time, you're playing in the FIU them run and it's invite only. You can't come in there.
Man,
Yeah, so
man, you got me.
you'd have Pong, you'd have liked them running though. You would have been
Man,
drooling
you
because you must look at with the types of people them that were in that run. Your career, you could have go any school. By the time you done school, you make couple calls, you're going to play because everybody could vouch for you. They know what time it is.
mm-hmm.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, you give me goosebumps just listening, like listening to your run. Like, bro, happy that you were able
It
to
was,
experience that.
and it was a lot of fights. It was a lot of, but it just showed you. It just gave me a real barometer. You know what I mean? Of if you want to play God at the pro level, college is one thing, And I wasn't a good college basketball player. I don't think so. My game was more built for pro, coming off as and the type of game I played was more closer to like a Dame Lillard without the handle, like a couple dribbles over half court and thing, and like I was up in the air, and that was good. That was a good shot, really a combo while you're running, you'd be the last option. So I had to kind of get jealous of the type of stuff I had to see on TV now. Like, oh God, they leaving the one dude I know all of a sudden. And when I went in camp and think they cussing you out, telling you could only shoot when it's 5 seconds left on the shot clock and you gotta run the play all the way through. But ultimately them run Pong, man, it told you where your game was quickly. Quick. You want to play pro? This is it, and that's what you get your respect.
Right.
True that. True.
Yeah.
How was your experience like playing at FIU? Those couple
It,
years. How many years you played at FIU, and how was your experience like?
it was two. The first year I had to sit out because my two years in high school I would play with a torn meniscus,
Mm.
and I knew something would mess up with my knee, but we had the resources to go and fix that. So um, I kind of play on one leg throughout my high school, career. And then when they figure out that like you got torn meniscus, we had the surgery and then my muscle collapsed, right? So I end up sitting out the year Barry played. And Barry still have records down there, by the way, most blocks, most this, most that. Um, that one year. And then the second year when he went Oklahoma, I couldn't leave because like I would have lose the year. So I had to stay there and play. And I play my way into the starting the first 6 games were playing out of conference. So we played Duke, St. Bonaventure, BYU, all these different teams. And I was starting in the backcourt, me and Carlos. So I average about, nothing big, 7. Carlos shooting everything, man.
Yeah, he was it when he was in college, brother. That's one thing.
But you know what? I couldn't say nothing because like he would destroy, like literally destroy. I mean, praising him. I just giving credit where credit is due because the thing them I used to see people just all confused about what this dude coming with, and like I watch him give Jay Williams a Duke a easy 40, easy 40, easy, and Jay couldn't guard him, and I knew he was an NBA player. I knew he was an NBA player, but I couldn't get a ball from Carlos at all. So I dealt with the scraps. You know what I mean? Dealt with the scraps.
You
Yeah.
got to give that dude his respect, man. That dude, he even in the FIBA world, he's a legend. In the and FIU world, he's a legend. And
Yeah.
I think Carlos had a good NBA career. You got to
Yeah.
really know basketball to know that. You know what I'm saying? And he
Yeah.
played on a few teams, but he played a pivotal role on that Miami team. The few years that he was at Miami, and he played a good role at Utah too when he was there at Utah.
Yeah.
The man could play big, and like you said, he definitely had that ball and a string.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. You must get better, and like to your point, Pan, he had a solid career for sure. The thing about it, and I'm gonna touch on something kind of sensitive, right? So Carlos had a great college career, all of that, but when Carlos made the NBA, it was because he take that team and beat the USA team, and he kind of like spearhead that whole run against Team USA. If you remember that run when they beat Team USA and he turned into like a folklore. I look at them times, and Carlos used to tell me all the time. He's like, "Man, you guys got a lot of great players. How come y'all don't come together?" You know what I mean? And like he was right. Like I never understood why they can't combine them teams we used to go Chicago and Milwaukee with, and then add a Raja. If they attract him, but we were good enough to compete on them levels. And if they had put that team together properly, assembled it the way it was, um, more guys would have opportunities to play in the NBA for sure. Because we'd have been beating up a lot of teams that were we'd have been beating them easily.
You know what? Akin is a lot. It sounds good, but I could speak on behalf of Usi and his organization that Usi them used to try to get players, man. They used to try to get players, and like after college, after school, everything is about money. You know what I mean? And that's the only thing the Virgin Islands lacking. We ain't get it funding. We don't when we go on them trips in for FIBA, we don't stay in like fancy hotels and so like these other teams. Like they don't. Some of these other teams don't even stay where we stay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, I'll
yeah,
give Puerto Rico because they're so close to home. Puerto
yeah,
Rico never, ever stay in the same complex we stay. Them are always there in fancy hotel and stuff because they got $2 million budget when they
yeah,
assemble their team. You know what I'm saying? We barely scratching $100,000. You know what I'm saying?
That's
yeah,
So it's
crazy.
tough. And some of these players, whether they playing ball overseas, they got a 9 to 5. They need money to step away from their life. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to put together the type of teams that we need because we don't have the funds to do it. So
but we
Wait,
had the talent. We had the
we
talent.
definitely, if you ever hear
Had the
TV,
talent.
don't
we
FIBA
definitely talent. Huh?
Yeah.
don't FIBA give the countries money?
Hey, I don't know. I don't know.
If I'm not
That could be true, but I don't know.
because I know if I'm not mistaken, I know with baseball because usually in those type of sports and stuff, they give the countries their money. They give them a budget and stuff like that. So that's where your per diem and meal money and all that stuff comes into play and stuff like that. But usually that's how it works. But
We didn't
that's
get. We didn't get meal money and them thing then.
You guys didn't get meal money, no per diem or
No,
anything like that? That's crazy.
no.
Wow.
So I had a college teammate that 1 year I met up with him. He was playing with Dominican Republic. So when we got back to school and we talking and so on, and this man asking me questions, man, like how was your sniping and things like like how much did it give I for meal money, like you just said or whatever. Man, I was like, we didn't get them stuff.
Yeah, because that's crazy because that's like it's like the Olympics and stuff like that. They give the country their money and stuff like that. Like the country usually ain't supposed to come out the pocket and stuff like that because some poor countries and stuff like that won't be able to even make it happen. Usually the federation and stuff like that, they give the countries money and everything. But I don't know. I don't know how it works with basketball and stuff like that. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's the first I ever hear about that, honestly.
Yeah, but we have some we got some question here. I'll get to it real quick. Some of the Facebook users, your name no pop up, so I'm not sure who's asking the question. But this Facebook user said Kimba's Waka mom is from St. Croix, but he was born and grew up in the Bronx. Was your game anything like his? If not, who would you compare your game to?
No, it wasn't like Kemba. No. Kemba is a slashing kind of. Nah, it wasn't nowhere near Kemba. Who would I compare my game to, man? I was a smaller John Starks, to be honest with you. Like, I shorter John. I just play with a lot of fire. I love to shoot the ball. I could get to the rim. I didn't have that wiggle. I had that crazy crossover. I had none of that, but I could get to the rim. I was athletic. And I just played with a lot of heart, and I peaked later after college. That's when I really peaked, when I started to play pro.
That's a real good comparison. Your comparison to John Stark, and that's like a perfect example of your game, honestly. And if people think John Stockton had hops, you had more hops than he. You definitely had some sneaky hops, my son. Man. Like,
Yeah, I used to catch people.
yeah, you had some sneaky hops. So
I used to catch people.
that was a good comparison. You was a way, 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 way better shooter than John Starks.
Hey, look! I appreciate the humble, especially coming from the Matrix. Listen.
Matrix. I like that. That's a sick name, by the way, brother.
Listen, this is the first.
That's dope.
These Google things will be going off. These things will be listening to you, but ultimately, when I first see Pong play in the backcourt with Tegan, first of all, I didn't know if you were left or right-handed. Number one, the floaters them he used to put up and think them was just crazy, and the passing lanes, the way. I used to watch him coming up. He used to be the guards them. He used to turn them. He used to set them up, And then when he ready, boom. So I used to watch this dude and say, listen, I gotta figure out how to play defense like that. That's what I need to take from his game. Tegan had the crossover and could get to it. Tegan has sneaky hops too. I watch him pong it on a couple people too. But he had that. He had that. I used to watch all of them and try to teeth as much as I could teeth to kind of bolster my game. So, I much love to that group, man. It was such a talented group and definitely were really great basketball players, man.
It was, man. It was. And I was gonna ask a question, but I saw somebody ask it in the group chat, so I let Mumba ask that question from, I think it was Dwayne.
Ask it. Go ahead. You can ask it. Go ahead.
Well, I don't see the question anymore, but somebody asked, what was the reason why you didn't stay at FIU?
Yeah, so for anybody listening, the road to this professional thing ain't easy, right? It's life. Things that happen, and I had a big obstacle in front of me, man. The coach who was there got fired for illegal activity, and a new coach came in. And the story went like this, he went, Barry were going, he was leaving. He fly down St. Thomas to try get Barry to come back. FIU. I was Barry boy. And after the 5-6 games that he had enough dealing with me, he sit me down. So he was trying to get me to transfer. So he wasn't really playing me, and I don't even know why. I don't understand. So we were kind of like vibes. I don't understand what the man were trying to do, but what got back to me that they trying to make shaky players them transfer and get out of there, right? So this is the business. This is the business side. Business side. So I actually just kind of just say, okay, I left and kind of trying to figure out where we're going to go. I actually went to a school before I went to Voorhees, right? I had I had Murray State calling. They weren't telling me what was going on because I put my word out, we're going to transfer. And I kind of went into like a little depression shell, like, man, I had everything kind of mapped out and I hit this roadblock. So I picked myself up, went to this school out in Georgia, Bruton Park. I went there for a semester and I said, no, man, you got to be crazy because I went from FIU to playing in like a horse barn. This is how so I went from a 8,000 seat arena, not to say you ain't humbling, but life have a way of humbling you, right? And saying, okay, you want to play ball? We're going to put you through these different tests and see how bad you want to play. So
Right.
take me all the way to Georgia, to this Bruton Parker College. I was like this horse barn. I playing in there. I just, I had no business there, but and making the best out of the opportunity. But I only stayed there for a semester, and then I see Bauer and Bauer with Voorhees. So I tell, ultimately, Bauer say you need to come over to Voorhees, right? And I just kind of say, what, if Bauer over there, there are some people from home over there. Maybe I could just finish this thing out on a high note. You know what I mean? Because I don't sit out the year and stuff like that. So if I went back to Division One, I would have only had 1 year eligibility versus NAIA. I would have had my 2 years, and that's why I went to the NAIA. You know what I mean? So that's how I meet up with Pong and them, and play the 2 years there. Finish it out strong and meet Langolo and Hops. I had a good vibe. Make the best out of it. But then again, the coaching and the types of people that are around just outside of ball, my mind went a different place. I know what it is I needed to do, and the style of game NAIA had, it just wasn't conducive to where I was trying to go. So after school was done, I walk out for a couple agents and stuff like that, and then Tegan agent picked me up, and my first job was in Venezuela for Tratamundos. So that was awesome, man, because the fans on they crazy and they playing the drums the whole game. And if you're garbage, you're out of there. There's only 2 Americans per team, and it's a rough league. So if you could make it there, you could probably play in any league.
Any league.
Yeah.
So Langolo had that same question too, by the way. I guess her and Dwayne had the same question. We have a question here and this is a question from Juice. How disciplined it was in college?
Oh, it's very disciplined. I mean, it's cutthroat. Let's just as soon as you recruited, they recruited somebody on your spot. They recruit next. Discipline is really up to you to adhere to do, but then yourself better. So for me, like the court time in the gym wasn't enough. When they lock up the arena, I used to go on the outside courts and stuff at FIU and get more shots because I know, that's what got me to that point, is to work harder than everybody else, everybody hanging out. So discipline was something that if you don't have it, I mean, you're gonna have a short-lived career.
True that. We have a statement here from Hops, Robert Jules. He said, let them know how you prepared mentally with all the unfortunate change with FIU.
Yeah, I wanted to play at the pro level, right? So, Roger helped. Roger was a mentor for me. I looked at, his back and forth with the CBA and the walkouts and the stuff like that, and just understood that I really got take in walking out, take in obstacles, take in just everything, just take it in and then produce when you need to. You know what I mean? So that's that's the difference between a pro athlete and a college athlete, is that You gotta prepare, and then you gotta be able to deliver at that moment. And if you can't do that,
That's true.
you ain't gonna be ready. So
That is so true. Because that could be your one and only opportunity you ever get.
more than likely is your only opportunity. So you're playing literally pro ball is day by day. Like you have a month-to-month contract. So if you do 8 months, I mean that's good. Because the money ain't guaranteed. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So you gotta perform. You gotta perform, and to do that, I played for 7 years. So it's a fortunate situation for me. But Venezuela was one part of it. It was the second part on how I play in the CBA, NBDL, work out for the Sonics and stuff like that. That was an interesting situation, how that come about. You know what I mean? Because it ain't come through Venezuela or my agent. It actually come through me. Yeah, it's a crazy story. So yeah, that's part 3 of this.
Yeah, we definitely would like to hear that. I know
Yeah.
you kind of touched getting into pro in Venezuela. How was so you went to FIU and then you went to the Hasban in Georgia and then you went to Voorhees.
Right.
How
Right.
now going into Voorhees, how was that like playing in that type of environment, the conference coming from FIU, being in more of a bigger conference?
I didn't get down. I knew there was like substantial differences. First of all, everybody's kind of like the same height for the most part. There's no, I say that with all due respect in the sense that the recruitment to some of these schools with the skill set like a 6'11", you don't see the 7-footers.
No, you're
You
right.
know,
It's true.
you don't see the 6'8s, you don't see the 6'10s on the wings, you don't see like that kind of talent level. So the
Yeah.
difference was for me was that I was considered a big god, and that was a joke to me in my head, because a 6'2.5", maybe, on a good day, and being considered a big guard was so. It was just the way the aspect that they looked at the game was different, but still it was an opportunity,
Yeah.
right? So I tried to make the best of it, but it was, the coaching, how the terminology is really different. The coaching patterns are different. The schemes are different. Everybody just want to outscore each other. It's no pick and roll, really offense like that. It's just kind of like press and up and down the floor. So, but I appreciate it. You know what I mean? It ain't no piss pot situation. It's an opportunity. No matter what. I didn't succumb to it. I just tried to deal with it, make the best out of it, and take it from there.
Did you have to change your style of play? Was it that drastic
Yeah.
change, or was it just a little bit?
I had to change it. They were irritated because again they had me in this big yard thing, and I like ain't nothing big or yeah, it's a yard, but ain't nothing big about me. This ain't gonna help me play to the next level playing like this. So um yeah, I had to change, but I found moments in games where I could do certain things and reinforce what we're trying to do in the big picture.
Interesting. I laughed when you said that everybody was the same height in the conference because I went to Betu Cookman, so I was
Uh,
laughing because it's true. You go to those small schools, HBCUs and stuff, and like you said, just the recruitment. You don't really see those type of players, man. A 6'11" guy, mostly somebody scooping them up, etc. They're trying to turn them into a beast. So when I was going to some of the games that I would watch, I'd be like, man, I'm taller than almost everybody in the team. So when you said that, that's why I started laughing.
yeah,
It's funny,
yeah.
but you're so right,
Yeah.
man. You know. So how was it like? Going to school, like you had like a lot of few people from the Virgin Islands. I know you mentioned Langolo, you mentioned Hops, and then you played against Pang as well. How was that environment like?
Man, if they weren't there, I don't know if I would have really get through because those long nights. Voorhees is in the middle of nowhere, like literally, like it's nothing but like a train. You can hear it in the wilderness, and everybody in the dome either they're running dice game or it's craziness going on in the hallways or whatnot. So it was pretty cool to have Langalo and there was a next partner named George and Hops because and bow because we kind of keep the culture, keep each other up. You know what I mean? So that was a huge plus for me to get through them 2 years, man. But some of the nights, some of the jokes and some of the moves that we went on were legendary. So I could still remember. And Bao were great too, man. Bao used to hang out. Bao used to walk you out. Bao were positive too. You know what I mean? So shout out to Bao for real.
Yeah, definitely shout out to Bow, man.
Playing
Definitely shout out to Bow.
for that very reason, playing against Ayo, and thanks for reminding me because I even forget Robert was there. That he played with Ayo too, and those games when I always used to circle Ayo on the schedule once, especially like you said, once Bo get it, and because it was always good to see Ayo, like
Yeah.
you said. Jacksonville is a little more city. It's a blend of city and country, so it's a little different. It's not in the middle of nowhere.
Wait,
So
Yeah.
let me interrupt you real quick, Punk. Sorry, I apologize. Robert played at Voorhees too. He played on the basketball team. Hops.
um,
Um,
I,
Hops were injured. Like he was supposed to play, right? But some things went down. Hops got to really jump.
No, I know.
And
I didn't know he. That's what I was asking because I'm not sure. I didn't know he played
I
or he
think
was supposed to play. I didn't
something
know
to
that.
do with eligibility or whatever. But he was supposed to play for sure.
Okay, okay. That's why I just wanted to know that. My bad, Punk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
no, you
Yeah.
good. You good. Um, I was saying, yeah, man, it was good because I had Frenchie, I had Tegan, I had but still you had to take your VI family whenever you could see like a familiar face because especially with basketball, like you did a lot of traveling. So once the season stopped, like I barely seen Frenchie then, you know what I'm saying? Because
True
your
that.
schedule is so crazy, you know what I mean? So and Frenchie used to walk too. So like I barely seen them man, and then I gone like 2-3 times out the week. You know what I mean? So when you go places and you could see familiar faces, like once Bo get it, once Akin get it, Langolo get to Voorhees, and I, I I used to see Robert when we go there, and it was just like some welcoming sights, Miss Sam, because familiar faces. One thing I didn't like that used to happen, like because some of these places are so close, we never like stayed overnight. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
The
Yeah. Yeah.
only time that we get to like stay overnight is when we at the conference tournament. Okay,
Yeah.
so like it was good at the conference tournament because different teams like had different VI players. Like
Mhm.
I was telling them, man. I don't know if you remember me telling Ayo when for my interview, Doobie was at a college that I played against.
Yeah. Yeah.
Doobie Doobie was at Morris College. Akin was at Voorhees. Rick was at Benedict. Rick
Rick.
Lewis
Yeah.
was
Rick
at
Lewis.
Benedict.
Yeah.
So when we
Yeah.
come to the conference tournament, now we like
Yeah.
overnight, so I could get to chill with these man and hang out and just talk some of the stories that we had coming up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
True
Yeah.
that.
like it was definitely like good that these man, even though there was an opposing team, but it was still always
Yeah.
a welcoming sight to see them. Son.
Definitely.
I used to see
Definitely.
Langalo more because Langalo played like she was a multi-sport player, so I used to go
Yeah.
and watch Langalo for track. I don't think I ever, if she played volleyball, I don't think I ever see her play volleyball, but I definitely meet up with Langalo and me and Tegan went to watch her in their track meet and so
Yeah.
it,
It's nice.
Yeah. They were good times, man. Good times.
right. How much time I beat we Akin?
I remember all the time I play.
Crazy.
All right. This is
We
what I
go
want
get
to know
go and get
because
ball.
Pam be
Yeah.
talking like they never lose a game.
But we
Text
did
ball,
it.
no.
We
Text
did it.
ball.
Did
Text ball. Hops, try man, help me out. I don't
Langalo,
remember.
Raps, let's
Langalo,
hear it.
somebody help me out. I don't remember. Look, I remember playing some lick. I don't know if you were there. We're just seeing red because this coach, again, this was a personal issue I had with this man. But the gym, it was a high school gym, and like not a high school, but I don't know, in Edward Waters up in Jacksonville, right?
right.
Yeah. I
So
don't remember losing to Ayo.
okay, so number one, and Tegan could attest to this because Tegan used to beat our game. We don't lose in our gym. We don't.
Oh yeah.
We went
So
2
we
years.
lose that game.
We went 2 years without losing a single game in our gym, and
Oh,
Tegan could attest to this.
maybe a game. Then they were in our gym then. Cause I know.
Possible.
I
I
don't
may
know.
have
I'm gonna have to do some research. I'm gonna have to
right,
dig deep on
right.
this one.
I may have won one game out of the 4 times like me and you play against each other.
Oh God, oh God, Pop, oh God, oh God, oh God. I can't take that one there at all. That's
And
a 20% time.
we definitely beat Ayo in the conference tournament to go. Are you still qualified though? Because it's the
No,
top
no,
two.
no. We went out the tournament. What are you talking about?
The conference tournament?
Yeah. Is all you we beat you know.
I definitely play we in the
Hey,
championship.
Hop. Wait. No, we went out the tournament. My senior year, you know.
I got a tape. So
Hops got chiming.
I got a
Oh
tape.
God,
So
Hops.
I gonna watch it. No, you could be right. You could be right because I know Ayo had there was 1 year.
You had a point guard. A point guard. I don't know if it was Barbas. Look, the two team them I used to soccer with Barbara Scotia and Edward. That was the two team them I was concerned with. It had a guard, like a stocky, strong. Y'all had a stocky, strong point guard.
Yeah.
I used to like to crossover and lead an assist or something like that.
Yeah, he was number
Yeah,
two.
We beat. Come on. Yeah. We beat her to go to the thing. We cut on the nets and thing. I get nets and thing. I will send my son from them nets. I get a picture. We cut on them nets from what the tournament was. North Carolina, wasn't it?
We were in Fayetteville.
Fayetteville, right?
Yeah.
And then the tournament was in Missouri.
Yeah. You might be right. Because and I have
it was an upset. It was an upset. It was a big deal because like the partner were just like looking at me like, what the hell is going on?
You know why it was an upset, Akin? Because I never used to beat us. That's why it was an upset.
Hey, Pong ain't about the sprinting, it's about the marathon.
You're right.
You gotta win when you gotta win.
You're right. I know we beat out Nova Scotia to get to the championship.
Yeah.
I remember they had the number one player in the nation, and I had
a redskin dude, right? Or 6'6" dude.
He was 6'6", and I had this 4 points, Mumba.
Yeah.
I ain't shocked about that.
Close to 30 points a game. And when he come up to me, 4 points, Mumba.
That's crazy.
4 points.
That's
he won an NBA product, I thought.
He had the talent to play in the NBA, but me know where he went after that because that's the last year I saw him.
Yeah. I think he was legit 6'6".
They had another point guard from New York that was next with handling the rock. This man used to scared to dribble around me. Scared. after the game, because I played them 2-man the way I did, because that was their styles.
Yeah.
That man didn't want to dribble around me. After I played them, man, their coach come to me. He said, "My son, you from the Virgin Islands? How did I let you get away, my son?" Because I guess Baba Scotia to do a lot of
recruiting. Yeah, I can believe that.
He said, "How you fly under the radar? He said, how you get to EWC?" I said, honestly, when I was in school, I didn't really have like the grades and so on. I didn't really have scouts or whatever. But I just handled my own business and with a help from a few people, and they just got me into college. I just traveled for the team. He said, that makes sense, because he never heard about me before. But he said, "My son,
wow, that's crazy.
I don't know how you got away."
You see, the thing about that, as you talking, Pang was definitely a high Division I basketball player. I mean, that's the bottom line of it, So, it's like sometimes you're measured where you're going and this and that, but you have the power to kind of, and that's what the youth them need to understand. Is not like is always about that marathon, and outside of sports, just in life in general, because all of this, the stuff, the things, the trials and tribulations I went through helped me in my professional life now. If I didn't go through them things, I wouldn't have been able to survive what I do. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
I appreciate definitely Voorhees, that whole situation I went through, seeing the different cultures, because that even helped me survive overseas. So, it's a good situation, man. A lot of people were surprised because it's not a bragging thing, but ain't too much people from Voorhees were able to sign to play pro. I think it's only one other dude. One other dude.
Dude. So,
Yeah.
so how was your experience in not gonna look crazy. How was your experience like in Venezuela? Your first, professional, team
Yeah.
opportunity,
Wait,
everything.
wait, wait, wait. Before, like, talk about how that happened. I know you said you get recruited by
Oh
or
yeah,
picked
true
up by
that.
Paris. Like
Jose, yeah.
how that went about, and
He
why wasn't you in China? With we?
see, you gotta ask. I don't know who you need to ask, but I know I will play for Trinidad, Team Trinidad.
For real?
I play for there now. You see what going on? There's a lot of mix up thing going on. But I play I couldn't even tell you two streets in Trinidad, but my father from there. So
Yes.
I play for their national team. But like, yeah, I walk out for Jose walked me out, and he just, between my game film FIU, I had a lot of film from there too, couple Voorhees thing, but it wasn't really that helped me. It was the opportunity to have that Division 1 tape against some of them big schools I was able to do at that level, and then walking out, right. And so my first job was a situation in Venezuela where it was a week contract, 1 week.
Mm.
1 week. And I was playing for Tratamundos, which is a big, big team over there. We had a lot of legends on that team. And the other American import was a dude named Ronnie Fields from Chicago.
Yeah,
He's
Mm-hmm.
a high school legend.
yeah.
So everybody want to know who the hell this dude is. Where he from? Try and find. It was like, man. But like from day one on practice, I went hard and everything like that. And, the first game, I went crazy. I went crazy, and like a week turned into a season, and that was the end of that. I
Man,
went, yeah,
It's
yeah.
amazing,
So
man.
yeah, it was a actually my first play of the game. I went baseline on Lee Benson and like raise up, you know what I mean? And I had so much adrenaline because I had like 8,000 and they playing the drums, bakada, 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 the whole game, and they're rowdy, they're really, really rowdy. And if you could play there, because it's a rough league, you could probably play in a lot of places. I went baseline and like just jump as hard as I could and like, man, pong it on him hard and one. And Ronnie tell me, welcome to Venezuela. You ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? So from there, we built a relationship, man. He was one of my best friends to this day because like it was just pure respect, you
the,
know.
the basketball community, as big as it may sound, it's a small world, because
It's small.
I never see Ronnie Fields play, but if I ever watch any interviews from any player that come out of Chicago, the Anthony Davis, Derrick Rose, the Isaiah Thomas, like anybody I could think of come out. Every one of them that mention that name Ronnie Fields.
Yeah.
Every last one of them that mention that name Ronnie Fields.
Ronnie was a folklore man, even in Venezuela. Ronnie was playing 18 years with a broken neck, and like me and Ronnie stayed. They had us in a really nice hotel, and we stayed right across from each other, in the hotel. And he teach me how to be a pro because he was doing it for a long, long time. And the stories them he used to tell me, I mean, he used to tell me stuff like when the Bulls were playing, and then it was Farragut High School playing, and they had some people just won't go to the Bulls game. They'll come, and because Ronnie at one time was ranked the #1 high school player in a country that were going to NBA draft. Before he get in the accident a couple nights before the draft, and he break his neck. So But that's the highest jumping human being I ever played with. I telling you straight up. I used to just throw it by the rim.
He had a story on ESPN. I remember seeing it.
He still have it there. It's still there. Yeah,
Still
you
there?
know,
Yeah.
still there. Yeah, man. But yeah, after that job there is when things really take off because when I come back home, I used to in Orlando, I used to go to LA Fitness every morning, right? At 5:30 to work out. Cause Jose used to say, just be ready. I working on this, I working on that. You have some really good film. I working on some in Kosovo, in Portugal, all these different places. So I just, my job now is to get ready for the next route. So I only play Pong one job with Jose, because of this. I'm gonna tell you the next series of events. So for a whole month, I 5:30 in the morning, I go in LA Fitness. And if you know LA Fitness, the gym smile, smile, smile. And in the afternoon, a heap of garbage players come in there, and then you can't get to the court. So I used to go in the morning to try to do my drills. Them I used to go there every morning, not knowing there was a man upstairs watching me, right? Watching me and like watching what I was doing and everything. And one day, this older white man come in the gym, introduce himself, and asked me to do a couple different things. And I went rude to the man and things like that because I was like, I want to know who this man is, whatever. But I just do it. He asked me, I could have gone off, but this was a changing point in my life, man. The man asked me to run, do some certain sprints and like come off of screens from different distances and whatnot. And he tell me who he was. So he said, yeah, let me introduce myself. I've been watching you for about a week now, right? I've been timing you upstairs. And he asked me where I play. And I tell him where I play last and all of that. He said, yeah, I know that league. He said, my name is Buzz Brayman. I was the first ever NBA shooting coach, ever hired by the NBA shooting coach. He was a former assistant coach of the Magic. So I believe, like this old crazy white man. So I went, he said, listen, if you could get me some game film, I could see who I could circulate it to, right? So he's like, I'm going to be here for another hour. If you have a tape, bring it back. And that's when the VHS tape, highlight me. So I got some good Venezuela highlight reels, bring it back to him, give him my number. That night, the man called me, said, I see the film. I could get it over to a couple of my contacts, Bob Hill and Jim Liner. And Bob Hill used to coach the Sonic, the Spurs. You remember the part, a tall man with some circular glasses, white hair, Coach Rodman and Rodman and David Robinson and them. Back in the day. Yeah, Bob Hill. He draft Reggie Miller. And then Jim Lynam was the head coach at Chicago. So he called these names, and I tell my people, I said, and this crazy man gave me, whatever. You ain't had the next day, two of these men called me. The third day I was on a plane to San Antonio.
That's what's up. And as long as I know you, these stories new to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because we ain't talked in 20 years.
And before you say you live in Orlando, I was thinking college was the last time I saw you. But I remember we come down for a tournament in Orlando and you were on the court. I remember seeing you on the court in Orlando now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
When
So
I think Mama them cheat in the tournament.
He was there that day? He was there.
Yeah, he was watching on the side.
Yeah.
Okay, so we crossed paths and we even said no, brother.
No, yeah. So this thing happening fast, and I went to work out for Bob Hill, man. Serious. And he take me out to United States basketball. It's a camp for big men and guards, the top guards and big men in the country, and like walking out there and everything like that. And I get invited to be in the Chinese basketball draft that month. So he asked me who's my agent because he liked my game and he liked my personality, So it's like you have an NBA, you have enough to shoot the ball at NBA level. You're athletic, decent athletic. You could defend. Your handle gotta get tighter, but we could put you through the CBA and the NBDL at least for a year or two, and then let's see what happens. So he asked me who my agent was. So I say Jose, and like he's like, nah. So I had to. So he said, no. He said, let me make a call.
Small
So
war boy.
that's how it'll go. He called a big agency called Edge International from Chicago, and they were ready to sign me because the word were coming from Bob. So I had to send a letter of termination to Jose, right? So when I sent the letter, the man called me and cussed me out and said, "This is what I think about that letter." He ripping it up and all that shit I did for you and da. But it's a business, and now I learn in the business, and I gotta do what's best. I have an NBA coach telling me I have potential to go to the where I want to go. He signed in me with big agency, and you just want me to live in South America League? You crazy? I gone. So. So I make a business decision, and like it was good, man. I play in the CBA in Albany with Michael Ray Richardson was a coach there. The NBDL, Florida Flame, IBL, Eugene, Oregon. Man, I just play in every league, man. And so the year he was with Seattle, I had some workouts, and the last person I was cut, but the last person the kid kept was a dude named Milk Palacio.
I
So
know.
yeah, so it was close, and he got fired that year. But ultimately, I say all of that to say I had an opportunity, and it was a blessing opportunity to be able to patchwork design, play in every league in the United States, right? All the major league them, and play overseas, and then set my life up for the next chapter. So it was a nice little run, man. It was a nice little run for sure.
I just wanted to say, like when you become an adult and you become a professional, there's no more. I mean, you could consult with people. You could consult with your mother, your father, your best
Mhm.
friend. But you really making all your life choices. And I love Jose to death. You know what I'm saying? That's my guy. You know what I'm saying? But we all as basketball players, we trying to make the best out of this
Mhm.
opportunity that we have, the talent that God gave us. We trying to make the best. And
That's true.
Jose is definitely a legendary agent in the, like you said, the South America world. So, but ain't everybody want to play in South America. You know what I'm saying? So you have to make the decision that's best for you. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
feelings that involve and so because
He feel like big time him. You know what I mean?
right,
He's like,
right,
why I couldn't tell him about Bob Hill? Why I ain't tell him I go in San Antonio and everything? It happened so fast. It happened fast. I never even meet the man personally, really. Like it was like he set up a workout. It was all by phone, somebody telling him how I do things and whatever. I only meet him when I went in the Chinese basketball draft, and we were doing the workout just like the NBA draft in Oregon. And that's how I meet Leon Trimingham too, because he was in that draft as well. And I was supposed to go in one of them rungs, but that's a big man league and whatnot, and I was an alternate. But ultimately, that's kind of the first time I meet Jose, and I would try and understand. Yeah, I appreciate everything I do for Jose. Jose do for me, but he get paid for that last job I do. So technically, I don't really owe nobody nothing. And if I go into all these leagues, true, what the hell? I need Jose can't get me in these doors.
right, right.
It's tough.
It's
It's tough. It's
one
tough.
of the same issues that Tegan had with Jose early on. You know what I'm saying? Because Jose only know what he know. You know what I'm saying? Like he don't have the NBA contacts and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Jose is an agent for the South American League and get different places but I'm not
This
saying he's small time because Jose, everybody know Jose in Puerto Rico. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He is
Right.
big time and for where he is. So
Hmm.
but it won't nothing wrong. I don't know how our conversation went, but
The
this is
man,
the thing. Though. This is the thing. Like
the man went
I don't
crazy on the phone, man.
I don't
I,
know
I was
Jose.
screaming on the phone, you mother.
I don't know Jose, but I don't know Jose. I don't really know him, but for sure I know how agents work and how attacking. you know, he's a big agent in South America, etc., etc. He do what he got to do for the people and who to take care of he, and he's going to get players to this location. You might be having a NBA contract, or somebody might be looking at you, and he might know, but his job is to take care of the people and who taking care of him,
So
and that's just
the key about it, right? As soon as I can say who his agent is, the person that he was talking to never heard of him. You know what I'm saying? He was like, oh
He
no,
ain't some, let me Bob, let me quote unquote. I don't want to cuss, but he asked me who the F is that? No. Let me make
right?
a call. I mean, that's it's a look. You gotta make these decisions, and like the message for these youths is like take control of your destiny and try to make good, sound decisions as best for you, not feelings attached. Because let me tell you, if I couldn't get no job, Jose will release me and say, I don't have no time. I can't get you no job. Your tape ain't good enough or you ain't good enough. You know what I mean? So I went in a situation where I was hot. I was jumping from these. So the interests were enough where the people them who were interested could have moved me into different situations. And
And
I had to go with that.
the window is very small once you get here. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So you got to take the opportunity. No, loyalty is big. You know, you could have tried to stay with Jose and maybe still get into that window, but it might not have
Hey,
never worked out.
it,
Pang, for we 6 foot guy loyalty, we 6'11", we got whatever we got to take, we got to
True,
take.
it's a dirty and a dangerous business, man. Honestly, real talk. I could speak. I for sure. I know I could speak on this, and I'm telling you,
but
agents is. I'm telling you, some agent. I'll say 80 to 85% agents. They want what's best for them. Who is going to take care of them? They don't want what's best for the player.
right,
Is
Yeah,
what they want what's best for them. That's why
yeah.
you notice a lot of athletes is taking care of. They're doing it their own way now, a la LeBron James and stuff like that. A
Mhm.
lot of stuff don't get out in public. If you, and I'm not trying to sound like big time, but if you're not within the professional playing field in sports, you won't understand from the outside. You know what I'm saying? And this is just like the viewers and who watching and stuff like that. But it's a dirty business, man. It's a dirty business. You might
and
be good friends with an agent. You might have 20 years history, and some of the stuff he might not communicate with you that you wish he did, and stuff like that, because he has to. He's focused on the people who take care of him and stuff like that. Money and stuff that get thrown under the table. A lot of stuff that go on in the sports world. It's just the way how it is. It's crazy.
yeah, and I don't know if I remember when Ray Allen fired his agent and he became his own agent from for the rest of his career. He
Yeah.
handled his own business. He didn't leave it up to nobody anymore. Like he saved money that way, and
Yeah.
you know you get to see everything. You get to know everything. You're in the loop. You're in the circle. You're in the meetings of everything that go on for your career. Now that's tough
Yeah.
now because you still got to play ball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it could happen.
Yeah, true
And
that.
yeah, and these eight, like knowledge is power, right? So I always tell the youths them read, absorb, listen to what people saying. Don't let it blow past you, because like if you find yourself in that situation, you want to be able to reference. Again, a lot of legends, a lot of great basketball players from the Virgin Islands that everyone can learn from, and maybe we somehow crafting the next who knows what that gonna come out the Virgin Islands. But it's everybody's story that you could learn to take control of your career. And I wanted to make a hard NBA push, so I turned down a lot of jobs overseas because I wanted to stay in the States. And the States, keep in mind, CBA don't pay no money like that. NBDL, I was on a C contract, so it's only like what, $1,200 a month. Um, IBL, them kind of, you're getting paid every game. So you don't really make no money in the States. So at some point, you got to figure out when your NBA window is done and then go overseas to make money to start your life, or keep pushing it. So I just decided to go the other way. And the only people them, that they were going to deal with is certain agencies who are established in the United
Right.
States that have other NBA players. And that's what it come down to. Jose had no NBA players except maybe Tegan and a couple other, you know, legendary South America players, but it ain't nothing personal. We just still talk here and there, but I know you don't hold a grudge.
What it is.
We love you. We love you, Jose. If you're watching,
Yeah,
we
big
love
up to
you.
Jose.
Yeah,
Definitely big
yeah,
up.
yeah, definitely.
Big up Jose, man.
And Jose is from New York, so he's
Yeah,
one of
yeah,
the,
he get
so
a rough.
he got a New
Yeah,
York demeanor, that New York attitude. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
he ain't taking nothing so easy. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
I
not.
would have loved to hear that conversation, man.
He tear. I could hear the letter tearing up. This is what I think about your terminating the man tearing up the letter and cuss. I had to take the. That's why we had the flip phone. You know, when the phone get hot by your ear, I had to put a phone down and leave the man cuss. And I say, okay, well, what's it was an odd silence, and he hung up the phone.
Man,
So,
that's tough, man. That had to be tough for you too, man. That's tough. That's tough.
hey, I was good, because I know where we're going the next next job or there. I was good. I would gain into the business. Man.
right. So
Yeah.
you back in the States. Like, how long
Mhm.
you circle in the States, you play in the CBL, and did you ever make it back overseas?
No. Well, yeah, Portugal. Wait a minute. My timing. I went and met Guadalajara in Mexico
Okay.
after. That was a tough situation because I wasn't getting paid on time, man. And for me, look, let me just say, for me, overseas is being in the plane more than 8 hours. I know a lot of people like to say they went Mexico and they call it overseas, but that's down the road. But see, in the plane 8 hours, I think that's crossing the water. But ultimately, no, I wrap it up. I mean, I had little jobs and I had a next offer from Venezuela because I did really good down there. But I wrap it up here in the States, man. At 28, I wrap it up and started to figure out professionally what I want to do for the rest of the time.
That's what's up.
How was playing in Eugene?
Well, that was interesting because it was a good opportunity. At that time, they had this dude, Aaron Brooks, coming out to Oregon, and he was a really, really, really good guard. And it was good because that was
Was
their that was their first professional team in Eugene, right? And so University of Oregon is where we played, and we stayed at a place called Ducks Village that belonged to University of. It was the first pro team, so me and Aaron used to walk out a lot. Good dude, man. Very shifty point guard. Got a ball on a string too. It was a good opportunity to continue stat wise and just play and understand how to be a better pro.
What year was that? Real quick, if you could remember.
2000, when I graduated, 2004, 5 or 6, something like that. I
I
yeah,
was
some
I was in that area during that time too. That's
yeah,
crazy. I was in Eugene. What's the other place? Salem Kaiser.
Salem. Yeah, they
Salem
had a
Kaiser. Yeah.
team. They had a team too over there. Salem. I remember
Yeah, Eugene.
Salem, man.
Eugene, nice.
Yeah,
Eugene, nice. Poland. So nice.
Portland.
I like the state, but by the way, so that's why I was asking about Eugene because Eugene is a nice place to be and Portland and stuff like that.
Yeah, man. As a college town, that's what I remember. Everything was about university. Even if you went into the Walmart, they would had the big duck in there, and everything was paint orange, and everything was about University of Oregon. So yeah.
That's what's up. Now, so tell us, now that you said about you wrap it up in the United States. So tell us what you doing with yourself now? Like, what kind of work do you do now?
Yeah, I had a great opportunity when I was done to work with an organization called Special Olympics. Right, I was attracted to that because growing up with my mother is hearing impaired, so I always had a love for helping others that may be a little disadvantaged. Right, I didn't want to necessarily go into coaching. I didn't have that kind of love. I was just honest with myself. I always saw myself as a servant leader, right? So I wanted to work with individuals that are less fortunate to help them realize their potential. So I got with Special Olympics of Florida, and I started out 2012 as a manager of sport training and competition for the state of Florida. So that was over 67 counties. And I was with them for 8 years and went through, well, 10 positions in 8 years. So
Wow.
I actually finished, my last position was vice president, well, of development operations. And then now I work in the Bay Area now. I in Florida, but I took a job over in the Bay Area as a chief operating officer for the Boys and Girls Club of the Bay Area, San
Nice.
Francisco. Yeah,
That's beautiful, bro.
That's what's up.
yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of traveling.
Huh?
A lot of traveling.
No, I work remotely, right? So that because of the pandemic and everything. So um, I work remotely, and because I recently of 2 months I had taken the job, I only went over there actually one time to kind of see different places, homes and whatnot. And I catch up with Jerome Gums, who's our next legend for sure, who come out and doing well for himself out there too. I'm proud of everything he's doing. He's another inspiration for me too. But ultimately, I don't do too much traveling because of the pandemic and whatnot. But when I went with Special Olympics, another opportunity I got to work the Rio Olympics, so
Oh wow.
that was a really good thing, and like just kind of get that exposure in different positions and scopes of work and whatnot. So uh, all attributed to basketball, humble beginnings and just always staying humble and with much gratitude and faith, giving praises to the Lord for sure, but just continuing to work hard and stay humble and push forward.
Well, man, just from the day one meeting the man to now, just sitting here listening to you, like, I just good to hear that you're doing good, and because a lot of us, like I meet people in my walks of life, and like they always was wondering like what happened to me or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? So it's good when we could get somebody onto this show and just hear their story and just everything that you're saying. Aside from I know everything from, not everything, but I know most from high school to college, where we meet up and play, and we would sit down and talk before the games, and maybe after the little time that we have after
Uh,
the games, just to hear how the man doing what you did, throughout that whole span and the in betweens of what you went through. That man, that's, hey, I just love these moments, and it's better when it's somebody that close and dear to you, and you know him growing up, coming up on the scene. You know what I'm saying? So proud of you.
I appreciate it, man. Definitely. To be honest with you, Punk, like before I met you vicariously through the newspaper because the stats. Same thing with Zorro, Nate Swanson, gentlemen.
Mhm.
I'd never met these guys, but I met them through being inspired by the kind of stats, the ungodly stats, ungodly like stats that I was seeing in the newspaper, reading about a Stephen Hodge or a Dean Haywood or Tony Francis or Kevin Shepard. I mean, the Virgin Islands is blessed, to have talent like this. I just think what separates us is a lack of infrastructure to understand like schemes and terminology. I understand like not because somebody could jump and grab rebound, you gotta put them in the post. We gotta understand how to continue to develop talent based on right scope of where they should be playing on the floor so that they could continue to mature and attract time scholarship. Most of the position or work don't correlate. So I hear what Tegan doing, and that's a great thing he's doing. I hope the government is supporting him because for him to pour into the youth to give. We have the talent. We definitely have the talent. Is the infrastructure. We need to create more of a brand so that it's we could have more youths going professional, man. Because we should have some more.
Right, that's facts.
It's true.
You mentioned Tony Francis. You don't see Ghost in your walks in Orlando because Ghost is kind of on the same. He ain't in the special special program,
Special
right?
Olympics. Yeah. No, I see Ghost one time the other day, and I know he was working some camps, not camps, but working a whole he's trying to do something on his own, from what I understood, and he's working with a or worked with a gentleman that produce camps for people to get better. But since then, no, I haven't really seen him, and I don't have social media like that, so just my phone number. It's hard. It's hard for me to keep up because, like, it's a personal choice. I don't have so me hiding from nobody, but just I want to keep focus and continue doing what I'm doing.
Man, to each his own, man. Like social media is just not for everybody.
Yeah.
Numa got social media, but he don't be on it much. I
I don't
I
get it
got
at all,
social
man.
media,
Yeah,
and I don't day on it. I don't use it professionally or use it to better myself. But I ain't trying to be up in people's business either. So uh,
I hear you.
I just share every once in a while, and it just like you say, ain't for everybody, and
that's true.
it's not being used for what it was made for. A lot of people don't know Facebook. When Facebook first came out, if you weren't in college, you couldn't have Facebook. Facebook was for kids when they
Yeah,
leave home to keep in touch with their best friend who went off to different colleges. So if you wasn't in college, you couldn't have Facebook. You know what I'm saying? So they started creating other platforms. And because these other platforms get created, that's when so Facebook being competitive, that's when
it's
they
true.
started branching out to the everyone's. Um, but a lot of people don't know that. When we
That's
was in
true.
college and Facebook were open, if you weren't in college, you couldn't have a Facebook page.
And when I was playing, it was more MySpace.
Right.
And I used to be on MySpace, and I think I get burned out realizing like there's a lot of drama, man. So, who following who and who, man, not for everybody.
Right, right.
Ah, man, that's funny.
So I want to like give me some of your favorite moments growing up in life. Just whether it's
That's a pretty good
college,
question.
whether like I want to hear like your favorite moment in high school. I want to hear like your favorite game or something moment in college and I know as a man, as a professional man, I want to like hear some of the good things that going on went on and going on with you.
Yeah, the one in high school, it was this game. I think I had like 11 3-pointers, man. I was just something was going on. I was just, oh my lord. This was in Miami, and just before that game, my girlfriend, now wife, tell me we done or something. Like I walk way down the road. I walk way down, and that's up in the States, so they have the Gators and everything in Florida. I walk till along the road to get to her payphone, and she home St. Thomas. Something going on down there. You know how it's a lot of drama and thing. And then she say, you're done all the time. So I get vexed. I was inspired by that, man. And like we had a game that night actually. And like it wasn't just 3 points. I think I had like 40 something, but it was like I was in a different zone. That was my favorite because I realized like if I could tap into this here, this is a really interesting moment, right? So I always give her credit for being able to see something. I didn't know that we're in there like that. It was this kind of fire with vex. I want just like, man, I was just going after everybody. So that was one of my favorite moments that I will reveal that I had something else in store that I could get to. And that was pretty cool. That was high school. College, I had a whole bunch of them, in FIU for sure. But Voorhees were really like for me, just linemen around Haps and George Daly and Langalo. Like every day was a favorite because it was like who wearing this, who wearing that to go lunch through. You got to change again, you got to change again, and then you got to change again to go class. and then you got three class. You gotta have three more outfit. Like it was
That's
so much fun because of the culture, right? The HBCU culture is a whole different dynamic. So just learning about culture and being around, more African Americans were favorite. And as a pro, basketball wise, was just I really think my favorite moment was performing in front of Bob Hill at the level I was performing. It just reinforced to me, although I didn't get that contract at the next level that I was seeking, that I was right there. So it was confirmation for me. And then as a working professional, man, I just proud of the fact that I'm able to take care of what I need to take care of, and able to continue pushing, with life. So, and I have a lot of favorite moments, man, but it's just being able to deal with this marathon of life.
Right.
So that's something that, like, I hold close. On my work ethic, just really not giving up and dealing with the marathon.
true. That's true. Do you
Before,
still
before go
go
ahead,
ahead,
go ahead.
Pat? You want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, okay. Now I was gonna ask you, are you still involved in basketball in any way, shape, or form?
I try to do little trainings with kids and stuff like that, but I don't have the pay. If I could be brutally honest, I don't have the patience. The parents that I can't deal with. I do it twice, and like they have some parents have, like, not all. I can't speak on behalf of all, but some parents have a feel like you could pay your way into turning someone into some sort of Division 1 player or whatnot. So the expectations, I can't deal with them. If the kids them ain't working or whatnot, I just found that it was too much expectations versus the work the kids them were doing that I were dealing with
Yeah.
or exposed to. Not everybody. I don't talk on behalf of everybody. So I don't. I hardly watch. I tapped out with basketball. I love the game, but my interest now has shifted. I don't hardly play, really. I mean, I could still play, but I don't get much out to play. I run, try to keep in shape, but I think I mentally have moved on. Yeah, I've mentally moved on to next levels.
Do I was gonna say before I ask my next question, Mumba, they have no no listeners question.
No, no viewer question. Not
Okay.
yet. Not yet.
Um, do you have kids, and do they play any types of sports?
Yeah, I do. My son, the man just fast. The man fast, but don't, like, he want to play video games, man. That's the problem. Like, he just want to stay inside and play a heap of video games. If he go out to work out, he trying, like, hey, see, Dad, I worked out. The man gone off for literally 7 minutes. I heard the garage go up, and then I said, what are you doing there? It's only 8 minutes gone by. I worked out. So, um, I, you know,
Oh
he,
man, that's
he,
funny.
I don't know. Like, he fast, he out athletic and everything, but that work ethic, man. I don't know.
You know, one thing I gonna talk speak on behalf of the kids, because just I gonna speak from a personal, like,
Mm,
my son just started to want to play basketball. So my son is long and lanky, so he kind of like still trying to grow out of that awkwardness. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So you just look at him, you just say basketball. So people don't have an expectation there. You find out who his father be, basketball. People have an expectation there. On behalf of my son, like this, Mumba was saying one day, he very protective of his son. You know what I'm saying? Like, I very protective of my son when it comes to the part where, like, right now my son in private school. You know what I'm saying? I just have a fear of sending him to public school. I ain't talking bad about the public school. I ain't talking nothing negative about the public school. But we just talking reality. You know what I'm saying? You want your kids to experience public school because there's nothing like it. They've developed that toughness, how to be around other kids, and where they, just you just develop that toughness. You want to get that toughness from a public school, because private school kids ain't easy either. You know what I mean? They're probably even more dangerous because the
These days,
finance
yeah.
to back it. You know what I'm saying? Um, and the privilege and the privilege. So they don't give away with more than, you know what I mean? So, but I gonna say that to say this too. On his behalf, like where my son live, there's no kids out on the street. Like no kids out on his street, no kids. My son would have to walk, go like to the back of the subdivision, maybe. Well, it's worse in the front of the subdivision because the people live in his subdivision live there for years. So a lot of old
Mhm.
people live in the front. So he ain't got nowhere that he could, he ain't got no court, he ain't got no nothing to check. So he ain't got nowhere that he could go just walk outside and go and play ball. You know what I'm saying? Unless he in his driveway, because I bet he a rim. Um, ain't got much for he to do unless I take him someplace. You know what I mean? I know the struggle for me is I don't have the time. You know, I don't be having the time because I always walk in and check, which is sad. But because I want him to play. You know what I'm saying? I know he at the point. My task is now figuring out things to get him involved in. I got friends that I went to college with. These man is trainers now. So it's just finding the time. My task is finding the time to get he to work out with somebody so they could work on certain things that he may need training on. But I could say he don't always want to play video game, but that's all there is to do. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
now I do tell him, which he do now, go outside and work by yourself. You don't always need somebody to walk up with you. That this is where you show your drive. You know what I'm saying? That how bad that you want it. I
It's
can't
true.
want it more than you want it for yourself. You know what I'm saying? So, it's tough for them, man. And then if they don't have the right type of friends, like no, he gonna be at the age where somebody he know gonna be driving. So I feel like no, this is where it's going to take off for him. But I want him to develop that work ethic that when it's time to go practice, you don't have the mind frame in like not today. You know what I'm saying? I want to get him to the point where this is fun. Even workouts is fun. Because that's practice was so fun for me. Like I never was down for practice. Because I know how hard we gonna go in practice. I telling you, I remember a year or two, like our practices used to be better than our games then. And when we went, this is when the first time we went to the national tournament in Kansas City, and we were just running through our conference, running through anybody. We only had like maybe like one or two tough teams that really like give it the business. You know what I mean? I think we in that year that we only lost like 4 games. You know what I'm saying? But it was because the way how we practice. Like we used to get at each other in practice. The bench used to come at us to start and fight. Them man trying to like show you up because somebody trying to grab your starting spot. So where you to do that in practice and when you get your opportunity in the game. And I just trying to develop him where that's his mentality every day. Like he just when he wake up, he know he has his routine. When he go out to school, I go do my homework and catch the sun before he go down and just get some shots up, get some workout in and do some drills and that's it. And as long as he do that on his own, don't wait for me to come, he gonna be good. But
It's
to
true.
their credit, it's hard, man. My son never ride the school bus. Never. I just think I just think kids nowadays, man, it ain't like when we were growing up, man.
Yeah.
These kids
And
are
I don't push it on him at all. Like I just want him to be the best version of himself. I need to play soccer. You want a bunch of different soccer travel, scenarios. You're going from one game to the next. So we're doing all of that. And that was great. I just want him to get the principles you could get out of playing sports.
Mm.
Like, sportsmanship scenarios, you know, dusting yourself off. I could care less about pro and you thing. I should buy principles, principles that are going to help him when he gains his professional life. I think those principles would be awesome to have to set the. Because remember, college is just a degree, right? It's just a ticket for for an interview, if you ain't have them intangibles that we were taught through sport, you ain't. I mean, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard for you to succeed. So
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And
It's
playing ball is another way to network too.
yeah,
Without even networking, without even you network putting yourself out there in what you do or what you went to school for. Because once your basketball career done, do you know how much people you cross path with that you
yeah,
could just make a phone call and hey, and blah 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 blah, whether you got a degree or not, just after the strength of that relationship you build with that person alone. Oh, for real, man, just come by the office, man, and we'll talk.
yeah,
Sometimes people will get positions created for them just
yeah,
off strength of the relationship you build with somebody. So you
yep,
when you meet people, you try to leave a lasting impression. You know what I mean? Because you never know
yep.
what will happen for you in the future.
Full circle. That's for sure.
that's true. That's true. It's funny you guys was talking about your kids because I know you know are really protective of my son. I'm really protective of my son when it comes to the social media part. I'll tell you this about my son. He's 6'6", 16 years old, right? And I'm not lying. Everybody that sees him play or work him out, whatever the case may be, because he train and he does all that stuff, they always say like, man, bro, they always put all this. I don't know if he's feeling the pressure, but they be telling him like, man, you you top notch Division 1. They mentioning schools like Duke and Florida State. Like that's where they project him and they see him. He consistently hear that. And it's tough because it's like, I don't want him to get into the point where if he's not doing good, if he doesn't get to that point, is a failure. So I always consistently is there just telling him like, hey, once you happy, that's all that matters. Once you happy, all that matters. And I always tell him like, hey, at the end of the day, the only person who will remember your career, especially in high school, like all these games and your freshman, junior, senior year, is me. Everybody else ain't gonna remember. Some of your coaches ain't gonna remember. Nobody else ain't gonna remember. But it's just tough these days, man. It's tough because it's like everybody wants to get that instant, fame and stuff like that. And if you don't get it, it's a failure and stuff like that with social media as far as Facebook and Instagram and posting highlights and all that different stuff. So I try to stay away from that. But at the same time,
Mhm.
I let him be who he is. Like I don't even say train him. I train him. I taught him the game, but he's 16 now. I don't even say train him. We still go out. We still go over little details here and there of fundamentals because I would come to the game and I would be like, man, this ain't right, But so it's like I have to be a father, but I still have to be a coach. But you got to go back to when you were 16. Like, man, I don't want to be hearing all of that stuff. They have that in their eternal brain. So at the
Yeah,
same time, I have to kind of watch my steps and kind of ease my way in, but same time let him be who he is.
yeah,
So it's tough. It's tough for
yeah,
kids them these days.
yeah, man. Yeah.
But hey,
So
what can you do?
who do you keep up with, Akin, from home? Like that you grew up playing ball with. Who do you keep up with?
I talked to Jabari the other day, but because I don't have social media, because my life was so much under traveled in the last 20 years, and I really, actually I went home for the first time in over 15 years last year.
Oh wow.
And it's my mother. Um, I, ultimately is no disrespect to the relationships I had down there, but CB out of everybody would be CB, Cyril Benjamin. Um, I had to keep in touch with Jerome. Um, but that to that extent, some of the people that I grew up with, a lot of us kind of went different ways, and because of my absence on social media, it's hard. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, true that. It's true.
You mentioned this. I was kind of while I was getting myself to while I was waking up because as soon as I wake up, the first thing I saw was Mumba Face on my phone that Elite Podcast is live now. So I said, oh man, let me hurry up and get myself together. So what I did was I turn out, I just click on it. So while I was getting myself together, I was kind of listening in. So
Yeah.
I always thought that you went to high school. So but you said you went to a private school?
My ninth grade, yeah, I went to a small private school named Wesleyan just because I had some idea that I want to further develop. You know, Bubu, who was probably the best player for us at our age range at that time, and Isla Rasheem Richards and St. Thomas, he was doing a lot of work, man. And that was actually my best friend. If you see Bubu, you see a kid. If you see a kid, you see Bubu. So call me Yogi or some stupidness like that. Because we were so close, you know what I mean?
Right.
Uh, but everybody were going high school. Either you're going high school or you don't reckon, and it were packed. It were packed with guys. It were packed um, of just different players. So I went Wesleyan, man. I went Wesleyan. There was nobody there, so I could further develop and play against them. I wanted to play against them, and I want to play with them. So my 10th grade year, I play half. We were there half the year, and then we leave. Me, Jabari, and we went to Miami.
I gonna gotta rewatch the interview to hear that story because I don't want you to go back through it again. But
Yeah.
I do want you to touch on your Chicago and Milwaukee experience.
Which one? Let me talk about Milwaukee. If it, man, that was to this day, man, to just think about moments, especially with you. But I will have to pick the right moments to go by now. Um, I honestly, when that team got on the court, Mumba, everybody was getting destroyed because me think people see a team press off and off the shot. So I mean, ball go in or ball miss, we still in a press. So wherever the
Hmm.
ball bunks, that press shifting to where that ball is and where that man is. So if it's a 2-2, I remember we were playing a 1-2-2 or 2-2-1, but wherever it was, we were pressing and we were flying. We had pure athletes and we run through. I think we win. We win. We win it
Not
that
the
year.
year, not the year I was there, but
Okay.
there was one year with Teague and them I win.
Yeah, we win that one. That's when we butt up into Tegan. Probably tell you that story. Um, with Paul McPherson, the
Yeah.
high jumping left-handed. If Tegan ain't tell you, I wish you were on there because we were all on the court when this dude dunked this ball. Like he played in the league a little bit, and he was a Chicago legend for sure, for real. A 6'3" guard
Yeah, he
could
was
jump.
nice, man.
He went to DePaul, and we play against a team. Lance Williams, he me and if Quentin Richardson were on that. I don't remember, but they had a bunch of dudes on Chicago Nike select team, and it were me and Tegan in the backcourt. You were on that team there, Bang? I don't.
No, I
No,
didn't.
you weren't on that.
Yeah, I didn't go Milwaukee. I never went Chicago. I went
You went
when we
Milwaukee.
played. I went one
That was the
year. I
year
only
after.
played one year in Milwaukee.
Yeah, yeah. But that Milwaukee team, what you talking about? We had a lot of good memories. Called like we run through. We had we had a really good team, and I felt like we were able to establish ourselves as a small island with a lot of talent and made a mark. So we went back the next year, Chicago. Um, the competition, man, we played that Chicago team that was serious, and this dude, I think it was a rebound or they threw an alley hoop or something. Listen, this dude catch the ball. I never see look. His left hand, you are left-handed dude. He catch the ball from behind the rim, and when I tell you the whole five of us fall along, all five, I was almost to the 3-point line and I fall along. It was like a domino. Everybody fall on each other. Like that was it was a crazy dunk, man. This dude could have jumped. I think he was a little older than us, and even Stevie to this day, the coaches, them, everybody hold their head. Like, but ultimately we beat that team. We beat that team, and we were able. Coffee were playing too. But he was on the younger team.
Yeah, and I
Younger.
think that's the year when we went in Milwaukee. I think that was the same thing. I think you played on the younger team when we played on the
Yeah,
older team.
I was on the younger team. Yeah, I was.
You played with Caesar,
Yeah,
Akil Lewis.
yeah. That's the
Um,
one who threw the thump, right, with the fight, the brawl.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah. That was a bad night. That was a bad night.
man,
That was
we
uncomfortable. That was uncomfortable night. Actually, I went someplace with Kit, that. So I was involved in that fight. Me and Kit went someplace
mhm.
that night. Is when we come back, we see all this hysteria, everybody lump up, and we want to know what going on, and the Crips them coming and see me, he ain't up here to do this, we up here to play. I don't know, you know how St. Tomia Island man is. We in the dance, you get outs on, black shades, and we have our Nikes, and we want nobody step on our shoes. This is how the fight
Smoky.
started.
Yes,
No, it wasn't smoky.
Smoky.
It wasn't
Smoky.
smoky.
It was what?
It was
Well,
Akil. It was Akil Lewis. I telling you, this
one
is
of
how
them.
one
One
of
of
them.
them. One of them. So what it
Messing with
was?
one of them Crip girl, the girl from, because
Right,
listen,
right.
Mumbai, and tell you right, from time, and Pam, tell me if I like, from time that bus hit UWM and the man that blow out through the bus, it was like a scavenger hunt. Every woman, man.
When we were in the party, Akil. If you say it was Akil, I thought it was Smokey. But if you
No,
say it was
okay.
Akil, I guess he talking to somebody girl. But is the girl
Oh,
is
it
the
was a
girl in
girl.
feeding us? You know what I'm saying? So
I know.
Pana come and press Akil. Hey, yo, you gotta stop talking to my girl, man. Akil, like, man, I ain't, me know this is your girl. You're talking to me, what happened? So we kind of like get separated there. They like square off or whatever. We kind of get separated there. So Akil there in the jam now, and the girl them still pressing me. Don't
Yeah.
even the girl is still pressing me. So somebody get a DJ to play a jam band. And when the jam band got command,
I hear Akil wailing the girl.
Akil started to jump again. But he had a chain in his hand, a Gucci chain, swinging the chain. And when he come around, like when he get close to the dude, them, he like quick, like whipping the dude them in the face with the chain. You know what I mean? And that's how the fight start.
That's crazy.
That's how the
Oh
start.
man.
My son, and
Oh man.
it just happened. Mumba, it just happened so quick. You just start to see like man just start to like just throwing hands, and when next thing you know, my son I see a stool fly across in the air. My son I said, what? My son, and we just in them. So I remember one time Jabari fall in front of me, my son, and as soon as the dude jump on Jabari to go and hit it, my son I just crack a stool in the head, my son. And Jabari gave me some pump thanks, brother. And then he just turned around and got back in the melee.
Listen, yeah, from the stories I hear, right? It was like a desperado pang back against Jabari back and two back joint fist to try to protect each other. Listen, the stories I hear about this brawl, me know if you remember Pang, but what you name? Oh God, what Mbot take off his shoes and pull off his socks and get a pool ball for the
And
Ghana.
Oh God, that's crazy.
Listen, this thing was an all-out war. People, it was blood everywhere right here, and everybody lump up. But you know the big story about that is everybody come together to protect each other.
Yeah,
Whether we were
true.
right or wrong, everybody kind of come together, and whoever run get dealt with back.
That's
facts.
funny.
But honestly, the only
That's
the only
legendary.
people I think that didn't scrap, like you say, you and Kit won there. And I
No, we
want to
weren't
say
there.
Jason Williams was the only person,
But
and maybe
that was the preacher dude,
yeah,
right?
and
Yeah,
maybe Kasim. I don't think Kasim scrap, which is funny and ironic because if I know Kasim like I know Kasim,
yeah,
Kasim was a fighter from from kindergarten
Yeah,
all the way up to till he started playing basketball, and I think
yeah,
that kind of toned him down. Like basketball was this man's savior, you know what I mean? Because Kasim
yeah,
used to fight, Buck used to fight every day in elementary, every day.
yeah, yeah.
But
That's how it
it was
thought.
definitely a brag.
That's how it was with me and Barry, and our first year in FIU, man. We had to get things because athletes, they don't like division, whoever on the team or whatnot. And the minute you go in the cafeteria and thing like that, people and the girl, they insecure. So it's a girl them that'll be causing some of these problems because everybody, you know what I mean? So the dudes, them, they kind of get, you know, and Barry have a short temper anyway. So he going in there with his Oakleys and his Gucci chain. And if anybody watching, say the man, what you watching me for? What happened? What happened? So, but all truth, you know, we always kept together, you know, but ain't, you know, me want to transfer the wrong message to these youth and make sure that, like, when you get opportunity, you know, try to keep your head on and things like that. We just band together because we had to. We were in a situation where we had to fight our way out.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And
So
I think honestly, I think that caught those dudes off guard. You
yeah,
know, they're the man. They're the man where they came from, but they got also remember we the man where we come from. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And we come with
yeah,
a we coming from with a different attitude and a different
Heavy talk.
aggression.
That's
yeah.
heavy talk right there.
And I think my son went because
They were
we
surprised.
we actually run them out the conference room, the where the jam was being held.
Yeah,
And I remember just one dude had get left back, my son. Like let's say like we all bum rush the door and run them out, but then we come back in. And when we flocking back in now, there's one dude in there trying to
you
get
get
himself like you turn around, like you turn around and everybody like food. You know what I mean? Like this one dude just
yeah,
staggering, trying to get out the
yeah.
door, my son. And somebody cracked this. I ain't gonna say who it is. I ain't gonna put you out there like that. But somebody cracked this man with a pool stick, my son, and
It
knock
was
you out cold.
yeah. It was a as much as dangerous and violent that song. It was just the takeaway from that was like, you know, you that's part of life, right? You gotta protect yourself, man. You gotta
It's
figure out.
true.
But they were coming. They had mentioned coming back with the big bros and thing, and like
They
they were
did.
talking about guns. Didn't
They
they come
did.
back with guns and thing?
Yeah, they did. It was a flat outside and that CBD
Yeah,
we don't and nobody was supposed to leave the hotel and so the dorms because we were staying in.
yeah,
Nobody was supposed to leave the dorms and stuff, but they did come
yeah,
out. They did come out
yeah,
to because some of them dude was from around that neighborhood.
yeah, yeah. And all them experiences again, character building, man. They were good, healthy stuff. You know, a lot of these youths and stuff, they, you know, like, getting into healthy squabbles is good because it's character building. You don't want people to be out there fighting and shooting. That ain't what I'm talking about. But understanding life is, you gotta know when to stand up to yourself and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So,
It's true. It's
um,
true.
them is things that like I carry. But look, whenever I want a good laugh, I had to think about things like that. Um, Man, them is memories. Them is memories I have for the rest of my life, man. Them is some of the best memories.
Do you guys still talk to some of those guys from the team? I know you not on social media that much, but as far as talking, I heard you mention Kit. Like, have you guys talking to Kitwana?
I I haven't seen Kit, and I wonder if we play against you. Nah, I haven't seen Kit, man. I haven't seen I seen Josiah. Y'all, you remember Josiah James? He was the next one who played overseas for away from St. John. You know,
Mm-hmm.
he's
Yeah.
from St.
Josiah
John. Yeah.
Josiah is Mumbai time.
Okay.
He played my last year,
Yeah.
but he wasn't a pivotal person on the team at that time. And then like that year when I left, he just blossomed, man. And because
Yeah.
when I this dude, when David Idol used to post that this man going overseas, I used to be like damn, I always I wonder about he, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
still a wonder about he because now I don't hear anything about him.
Yeah, Josiah good, man. He in Miami. Josiah had a good career too. And Josiah blossomed. He blossomed for real when he went college and stuff. Josiah could have jumped out the gym, and I think he had played a three, sometimes a four and thing, but Josiah could have played too, man.
I'm glad you mentioned his name because you're gonna be our connect to see if we could get here on the show because he would be a good story.
Yeah, Josiah's a good story. I'll share the information with y'all. But yeah, Josiah from St. John. you think about how much people coming out today. I mean,
Yeah.
not much, you know. So he may
Him,
be the only one.
him, Bubu is from where? St. John or Tatola?
Bobo St. Thomas.
I thought somebody said this man is from Tatola.
No,
Oh,
not that
no,
I
no.
know.
The reason why I say he's from Tatola, Bubu came St. Croix to play in a tournament, and he played with a Tatolian team because I think he got Tatolian
Oh,
something. He played with
okay. Oh,
he even played with Jason Edwin.
okay.
Yeah.
I never get to play against Jay. I don't remember playing against Jason. And I think I was done gone from there, man. Yeah. So
But yeah, man. So you got to connect us with Josiah. He'll be a good
yeah,
one. Um, I just still me and Caesar to talk every once in a while.
yeah.
I don't see Akin Lewis. I don't see his post them on Facebook. We don't really chat that much. I don't. When after college, I used to see Fish every time I go Miami.
Which one? The shot one or
Yeah,
the little?
Shawfish for Idora King.
Yeah. He was a serious athlete too, you know. Fish could have played everything. Fish was an athlete of the week every week. I used to read in the newspaper. This dude, and we're fast.
You're
Yeah,
nice.
he definitely was a point guard. Point guard. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? He definitely was a point guard. He was tough. He was a tough cover.
yeah,
And he could pass everything. You know,
yeah,
he is one man that I don't really go for steal for because he punish you every time if you miss. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Yeah.
So definitely.
yeah. You were good. You were good, man. Definitely.
So Punk mentioned you to connect to try and get Josiah, connect us to get Josiah. Who is someone you would like us to see? Who is someone you would like to see on the Elite Podcast?
Yeah, the highest y'all ever had. So when I was growing up, right, they used to have these dunk outs and thing, and one person come to mind that could is probably one of the highest jumping shot. Y'all never hear about
Yeah,
Kwame Bonelli?
yeah.
Heard that name before, yeah.
I play against.
Listen,
I think I play against. He went Chicken Hawks, right?
me, I don't, I really couldn't tell you. I think he had actually went to a school in Larenburg in North Carolina. But that's a man when you talk about legend, at least for us in St. Thomas, from a dunk out perspective and things. So I think the way he and Calvert used to do dunk outs, and regardless of who win, Kwame to me was the best man. Kwame used to do the man. He's a serious jumper, serious leaper, and really was like super athletic. I think ultimately that's one of the highest jumping guards to ever come out of rock.
Well, you have the connect?
Yeah. I did talk to Kwame. Kwame. Y'all know who Derek Heiliger is? Ever heard of him? Derek Heiliger. That's
I
his
heard him,
brother.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
his brother. That's his brother. I just remember Kwame. Just the dunks them he was doing was just ridiculous, man. And he had these legendary workouts. Like he was always running hills. You know the person who always has that weight vest and that weights on their foot and they're running up the hill and they just running forever. Yeah. Kwame would be one. You know, yeah. Hopefully, I'll see what I could do. But Roger would be a nice one because his story he had a lengthy NBA career for the
I don't
people them
know.
to see that.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
don't know if I saw Roger Bell interview Timmy
with Tim
Duncan.
Dunk, yeah, I
Yeah,
see it from the Ringer.
man,
Ringer, yeah.
that
Yeah,
was like one of the best Tim Duncan interview I've ever seen because I think because it's two VI players and it's kind of like even though they're interviewing Timmy, I was hearing stuff about Raja I never ever heard before. You know, like when he leave St. Croix, why he left St. Croix. Like I never really hear those stories because nobody from home ever interviewed Raja. You know what I'm saying? So just hearing them talk to each other and their different experiences from home and things was that was probably one of the better Tim Duncan interviews I ever watched. And
Yeah.
I think like people like Raja, people like a Rashidi, and even if we could get him on the Elite podcast, would make for the better interviews for Tim Duncan because we gonna ask a question VI people really want to hear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Seriously, we go because there's so much folk tale, especially Timmy. There's so much folk tale about Timmy, um, and the guy is just so humbling that
Hmm.
it may have things that Timmy have done or doing that he don't even care to have his name attached to it. But just for the betterment of whatever the situation is, that's all that matters to him. But people
Yeah.
would love to hear what some of those stuff are, you know what I mean? And if he do a interview with like a ESPN or NBC or like them any kind of question people gonna ask. So
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
the politically correct question. And the person, Raja had tell me about this because I speak to him last week. He tell me he had, he was doing the ringer. We had to keep in touch, and he tell me that he had got Tim Duncan to interview, and he would tell me Tim don't interview with nobody, so you were kind of happy about that. And I remember looking at it, but you know what? Not to cut you off, Pang. Roger was another big, big mentor for me when he went FIU and used to come and pick us up, and like take us and we used to go and eat by your mother and thing like what I mean. So big up to Roger too, what I mean, because like he was a good person for us to look at and say, you know what, you could do it despite not having all these in between things, right? Roger played two ends of the floor hard, and that was it. He could have do other things too because in college he used to take you out the dribble, dunk on you, and things like that. But in the league, became more specialized.
mhm,
So like the takeaway for these youths is to understand that like college, you need to be able to do everything at a high level, right? But in the pros, you gotta have your specialty. You gotta be able to be one of the best in the world at whatever your specialty is. If it's defense, you're the best in the world at it. If it's shooting, you're the best at the world. If it's a combination, that's what you do, and not try to do things that you ain't know how to do. You know what I mean? You do what you're good at. You're gonna keep your job that way.
mhm.
Because if you can't dribble up to as a professional, cross it over there, you're trying to do it now, it's too late, and you're gonna look stupid. So you need to stick with the things them that get you to that point and professionalize it. And that's what he did. It's a classic example of somebody making the best out of what they could do well and taking it to the next level. That's a
Right.
good example. You know what I mean?
That's
He had the wiggle. He ain't had the wiggle at all. But you
but
coming off a screen, open shot, shoot it, play your hard on defense, hard, and was a very good pro. Stay out of trouble.
but how and it's
Perfect
how he
recipe.
oh go ahead.
No, and I was saying perfect recipe.
Right.
Yeah. It was how he got his opportunity, how he took advantage of his opportunity too. I think a lot of us saw that, you know.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
just re-
yeah.
I just remember him coming on the scene. I think they say he had a tryout with San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't really work out with his because he played in the preseason. I remember seeing him in the preseason. It didn't work out. So maybe a few months into the season passed. A situation happened with Philly. He went on a 10-day contract, and then he got another 10-day contract. He got
Mm-hmm.
another 10-day contract, and then Philly started buzzing, and he became a pivotal point in that Philly buzz.
Mm-hmm.
Bam, we're gonna sign you for the rest of the season. He went off into the playoff and that started after my career. And that's just from my memory. I know they might have more
Yeah.
things that happened there or whatever, but and it was must see TV for if you was a VI fan of NBA basketball because now here we finally got another VI person in the NBA. So man, I was trying to watch every game Raja playing, every
Yeah.
game because
Yeah. Then
What made
the night before he went, he was done FIU were walking out before he went for that 10 day in Philly. And I think I would in the vicinity where he's like, yeah, I about to leave, but 10 day turned into, for the rest of the year, and it was to your point. I mean, we all see it in the moment. Um, he was given the opportunity to guard Kobe and stuff like that, and played him hard and made open shots and played a great role. It was great timing, great opportunity. A lot of things went well at the right time.
Yeah,
Divine
time.
intervention. It was time. It was everything, and hats off to someone that we grew up close to watching and could say it could be done. You know.
It was good to see, man, because from remembering, it was he was just doing all the dirty work, man. It was nothing but defense. And like you guys said, he hit the open shots, but it was the defense and the hustle, and he was guarding the best player on each team that he played against.
Mm-hmm.
And I think why I could be wrong, but from what I remember, it was his defense against Kobe Bryant. The way how he played Kobe Bryant is what really catapulted him to,
Yeah.
and that's so it was just great to see. It wasn't all the flashy stuff. It was just the dirty work and hard work and the determination and everything, man.
Yeah.
It's an amazing story. His
If you
story is
could,
amazing.
if you could remember, one year Raja was leading the league in the best 3-point percentage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah,
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 one year he was leading the league. He just had that spot up tree in the corner, and he was just draining them in Phoenix.
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah. True. That was a really good. Again, like I like to say, if you don't have all of this wiggle and one stuff or whatever, that ain't part. If that's part of your game, and it's good. But if you don't have it, it don't mean that you can't be good at some. Whether it's baseball, basketball, whatever it is,
yeah.
just stick with it. Stick with it until destiny, calls. But ultimately, man, that was a good example for all of us. I thought.
Well,
That's true.
you and Tegan probably well, Tegan out of me and Mumbai, and then now you seem like you got a good connect with Raja, man. So you got to try bugging him. I know Raja. I think Raja got like 2 podcasts going. I think he got one with
Yeah, he working hard, brother. That man working hard.
I think he got one with a not a prime time network, and then he got his
Yeah.
own personal that him and
Yeah,
his friend got.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna
I
send him. I'm gonna send him this link and see what you say, and then try use it as a conversation starter.
yeah, please do.
So because ultimately he's a good. He cool, Roger cool and everything. But I want to make sure like I present it in the right way. So because he all about the youth. He all about giving back. He ain't one of them unattainable individuals. Just knowing him all these years, So I gonna just send him the link, see what he think about it, and then say, hey, the people would like to hear you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, do that for us. Thank you. We appreciate it. I glad I get to meet Raja before the NBA once, maybe twice, and then a few more times after he make it to the NBA. And it was a big thing. You know what I mean? Um,
Mm-hmm.
I played with him in Venezuela. This is me fresh out of high school. The summer of my last year in high school, I went to Venezuela. I was a young gun on the team. Like
Yeah.
everybody else had done do a 2+ year in college or 2+ year professional, and I was the only one coming out of high school on the team. So everybody just grabbed me underneath their wing, kind of showed me the ropes for the national team, and it was on from there. And I remember us being in Puerto Rico practicing because we practiced like 2 weeks in Puerto Rico before we actually went to Venezuela. Came back from
Mm-hmm.
Puerto Rico, and it was just enough time to pack my bags. And I never played professional, but it like just experiencing the national team, it gave me like a snippet of how professional basketball is performed. Because when I tell you, we when I got a call, I was doing summer school, and as soon as summer school done, like it was like I was on a plane to go Puerto Rico. So it was just we in Puerto Rico, we working we 2 practice a day, brutal practices a day. First time experiencing that. So it was an adjustment for me. And like as soon as we done practice, like you on a plane to come back St. Croix. So you unpack, you wash your clothes, boom. The next day you're packing your bags again to jump on another
Yep.
plane, jump
Yep.
Venezuela. And where we was in Venezuela first wasn't where the tournament was gonna be. So we land, we spend about 2 or 3 days in this area. We practice. Boom, we on another plane again to go to Curacao or wherever we were supposed. We actually going for the tournaments. It was just it's like you living out of your
Yeah.
suitcase. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I could just that was just a
Yeah.
snippet of how our life was playing professionally, Mr. Nando.
It was crazy, man. You just had to know when to pack, how to move, what you're wearing, what you're dealing with, and playing pro in the States is a lot of bussing, you know what I mean? Because the budget's ain't that great. Um, but overseas, depending on what country you is and where depending on the team, the distance, is a lot of bussing, is a lot of moving parts. Is to your point, you play the game, flight leave at this time, right after you have your bags them already packed before that game. Tell you when the bus leaving, when the plane leaving, if you're coming in a personal car. Look, it's just a whole different lifestyle. And then I started getting into nutrition too, because growing up and think we went into you couldn't get me to drink no water, there's a lot of Kool-Aid and soda. And you can't do that over your cramp, you know what I mean, because of the heat and the demands on your body, so you start to get into nutrition and you start to live a different, basketball is more of a business. You have the love for it, but it's a business transaction. I play well, I get paid, everybody happy. You treat the people them right, and I start to teach other young dudes that used to come. I used to tell them coming after play because the first thing they want to know is where the woman them at. So I used to have to pull them aside and say, listen, you don't walk that way around here. You need to be careful how you're treating the locals, how you're dealing with the locals, because it's all a professional outlook. You know what I mean? You don't speak the language. If they don't like you and they think you're taking advantage of the people them or wherever, remember, they speak this language, it could get you up out of here, So, if your performance ain't matching this kind of persona, you're gonna be on the next flight smoking. Because first, you ain't performing and you're disrespecting the woman and which they don't like. So I used to have to teach people ways on how you could sustain life even if you had a bad game because the people them just enjoy being with you.
What was the
Longevity.
what was the longest bus trip you've been on when you was playing?
It's maybe 7, 8 hours. You know. Yeah, 8 hours maybe. 8 hours. But then, look, I tried, I was fortunate, man. So I used to really take in the opportunities, So
That's true. That's true.
Man, Akin, this was good, man. I'm glad to
yeah,
see the
appreciate it.
glad to see the man still they're both doing his thing.
Yeah,
This this is this was very educating. Love your story. I think everybody this story deserves to be heard, and yours is very deserving of it. Anybody you could think of outside of Raja and Josiah, just link them, man. Just let them know, like
yeah,
we would love to have them on, and just you know, um, give them our I listed as Stephen Hodge in on Facebook, so they can always find me. You know what I mean?
okay,
Listed as Mumba Rivera on Facebook, so they can always find me.
okay.
So because I know you in on Facebook, so
Yeah,
um,
I could, and I have Mumba and Tegan contact information. They have mine. Is a couple people at least from St. Thomas I could think of
Yeah, we
that
definitely
definitely.
on too. So if you could, that's
Yeah,
somebody.
yeah. I
Somebody
tell
that
him I tell him I was coming on here, and he tell me, yeah, they are reach out to me. I say you should do it because Jabari is his story may be misunderstood. and it'd be a good opportunity for him to tell it because he was probably one of the most talented big men we probably ever had. Jabari was serious.
Yeah.
Jabari was serious. The way he used to run that floor. I mean, he used to call you down his all. He used to dunk up and I mean, look, Jabari was serious. Serious, I telling you.
So
So
let me share a good story how like to back up what you're saying about Jabari. Freshman Jabari, ninth grade year, little ball head dude come on the court. He came off the bench. Chicken Hawks in our tournament came off the bench. He didn't even start. The first play of the game, all you seeing is this. He come off the bench. All you seeing is this Nintendo character just taking some large steps through the hole. Went up, stretch out the hand, dunk on our whole team. The very first play came in. It's like they
Wow.
had like this play. They probably to run it every time he come in the game just to catch the team off guard, create some momentum for them. You know what I mean? Because he gonna dunk it. Ain't nobody getting up there to block his shot. You know what I'm saying? And he
mhm,
just tear it in, my son. But you could just see the youthful, like I'm immature-ness in him because,
mhm.
like I said, he was a ninth grader and like he came off the bench. So I guess um, I don't know who I can't remember their coach name.
Estrel, Petty, Estrel.
Yes, yes. You know, he
Estrel,
probably
yeah.
just gained hands on Jabari, trying to develop it. You know what I mean? And that was the last time I saw Jabari as far as in high
Yeah.
school. Because I think the very next year I got him up out of there and
We were gone. But when he man, Jabari tear up Miami, man. I mean, he had the scouts that man, the Jabari used to attract them scouts. And when he went FIU, he put in work. In fact, he still lead as a freshman in blocks and rebounds as a freshman. And he averaged Jabari as a freshman averaged like 14, you know. So actually, they were talk about Jabari going to the draft from FIU because he was that good, you know. But wanted to continue his college career. But Jabari was playing the tree in college
Wow.
at 6'11".
That's
So that's why the scouts them were going crazy because he was like he played exactly like Marcus Camby.
yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
man.
yeah, we definitely he gave Tegan the thumbs up. Just tell Jabari don't be no of us, man.
No
Once
man, he good. He good. He no man. Jabari. That's one thing. You'll get a charismatic attitude for sure.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I gonna link him and make sure I connect y'all, man. But definitely this platform has been certainly a blessing and a pleasure. You know, if I know we joke a lot and crack a lot of jokes, it was nice to catch up, but like really grateful to the island, right? And the people in the island and just the culture that gave me the platform, me personally speaking, the friendships created, but gave me the platform to dream, you know what I mean? And that's where it started, for me. And that holds a special place in my heart. So like, having this opportunity to speak to you guys is I'm very, very humbled by it. And just happy to see y'all in good health, and hopefully we could continue to try to inspire the youth.
yeah, man, love it, man, love it, love it. This is usually Tegan time of the show, where we the ask you to give your top five
Oh
VI
man.
players, and then your top five NBA players.
So my top five of all wow.
Your personal favorite,
Your personal favorite,
favorite.
My
in no particular
personal
order.
favorite top five, no
Yeah.
particular order.
No.
My Boo Boo for me, that was one of my favorite players. We were really close, but he really could have played, man. He had a time where he was a really, really good basketball player. So he's still one of my favorite players. St. Thomas, let me see. Wow. Phew. It's a hard one, man. I don't want. I want to be careful.
From
I
since
could
you
get.
were
I
nine,
could
10.
get away with boo. Um, you know, CB was a. Although I didn't get to see him play, he was a favorite player of mine because of his mentality.
Yeah.
CB had a mentality that you want to run through the wall. You know what I mean? If you remember how he coach and things, and he really very story. He was the other dude name I like Calvert game too, but I Calvert were kind of like a jack of all trades. I really and he was left-handed. I liked his game, but I didn't feel like I had anything in common. So if I didn't feel like I have anything in common, but he was a very good player. The other one, they had a partner named Kool-Aid from St. Thomas who was postman. You couldn't do nothing with him. That's Tree. Look, I never meet Zorro, but he was one because the legendary stats that I used to see in the newspaper, like what this is, what kind of, and I couldn't afford to go over and say Christ. So he's four I never meet, and then Neil, right? Just because for me growing up, I haven't seen him since I was a kid, but like I liked his game pattern. So I try and mix St. Thomas and St. Croix there. That's my five. NBA wise, Derek Harper, uh,
Nice.
number one for me. Derek Harper played
Why?
both
Why
ends
Derek
of
Papa? Why?
the defense. Defense. Derek Harper. All my five in NBA ain't popular players, I just never like to. But Derek Harper, John Starks for sure. Coming off of them screens and thing. I love shooters and stuff like that. That's number two. I go speed it up to Steph, man, because he's unbelievable, right? Again, and then Dame Lillard,
Mm.
Dame is
and
the man. Dame is the man.
and then I'll end with Raja, and then give Carlos an honorable mention.
That's love. That's
We used
love,
to
man.
fight. We used to fight too much for me to be my top five. You are playing no defense. I playing all the defense, and he relax it. Listen, before I part, right? I want to get this up. So Carlos used to say, Keen, you got to because the opposite player, whoever is the most athletic guy, that's that Keen, you got him. And Carlos used to go and chill out on the next guard or the tree man. You know what I mean? So I chasing their best player. So I coming off the screen them, trying to deny, they have all these different wrinkles. By the time you get on offense and stuff, you ain't got nothing to give. He fresh, he get a nice haircut, coming down, speaking that Spanish, running that pick and roll, and had all the energy. So I never used to really like that at all, but it make you into a good player. But ultimately, he's my honorable mention because as a point guard, that's probably the best guard ever really play against. Pound for pound, because he always had that. He had all the tricks, man. He had all the tricks, all of it.
Yeah. One thing I like about Carlos, he don't waste his dribble.
No,
His dribble has a purpose. You know what I'm saying? And that's what makes a good point guard. All your dribbles have a purpose. You know what I'm
yep.
saying? Do not waste
And
his dribble.
he had big hands too. That was our next thing. He used to palm the ball a
Ball, yeah, a
lot.
lot of people didn't pick that up. He do like you said, he do keep the ball on a swivel. He do palm the ball and move it. A lot
Yeah,
of
and he
people
hands
don't.
him. Yeah, they understand that, and he used to palm the ball, and he could run the hell out of a pick and roll, and he could set you up, and ain't nothing you could do. Like you gotta be careful with players like that. That if you could pick them, you could pick him. You could pick him. Don't get me wrong, but you got to be very calculated because he's a very smart guy, and he could pass the hell out of the ball. So he can make you look real stupid real quick.
Fast. That's one person, him and Barrera. I don't try to steal ball from them. They don't give up the ball that easy.
No, no.
He is very. He's probably one of the better pick and roll player I've ever played against, son. If not the best, the
Oh,
best.
Barrera?
No, Carlos.
Carlos. Yeah, man. I telling you for a whole year. There was a week. One of my biggest memories was a week. We had a practice. It was a week. A whole week. He missed no shot. And look, Practice is 2 hours, no shot, miss. None for a week. I conquered, I swear, a whole week. And that just telling you the levels you gotta get to. And it was good for me because it gave me a barometer to understand like where you gotta get to, you know what I mean? So
That's true. That's true.
yeah,
That's
all
true.
good though.
Man,
Well,
well, Mumba, you got anything? Anybody got any questions? Any viewer questions?
no question. I just want to say thanks to all the viewers that tuned in. You know, we had a lot of new viewers tuning in and stuff. So I just appreciate everybody coming out and supporting you, Akin. You know, much love to everybody always supporting the Elite Podcast. Definitely, you know. So I just wanted to definitely get out there, you know.
Hey man, I can sorry man, I was late. You know what I'm
You're
saying? I
good,
was
man.
getting myself together. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Everything good, man. I just happy and just tell Tegan I say hail up and definitely happy what y'all doing. It's a great platform for people to understand there's some sort of historical reference. And they don't start and end with us. It should continue to go on, regardless of sport, and because there's a lot of talent there to be cultivated. So
That's true.
definitely appreciate the opportunity to speak and catch up. Um, and God bless you guys, man.
Hey, give thanks, man. Thank you for taking time out to chill with us today and sharing your story. We really appreciate it. It was good seeing you and catching up. Much love to you, your family, and much success to everything you're doing in life. Hopefully you are able to make it over to the Olympics one year, you know what I'm saying, with your job and your players. Um,
Not this. Not I done with that, Pam.
oh, okay, you ain't,
I move on. I overseeing the boys and girls
you
club.
did
So
say
it's
that.
just yeah. I do 8 years at that age. That's too much travel, man. But it provide a good opportunity for me to continue to try to figure out next steps. So um
Nice,
yeah.
man. If
Bless.
any, anyone want to watch your episode, you know all they gotta do is just type in your name and YouTube is gonna pull it up. You know they can always follow our YouTube page. You know we have all the previous episodes there as well too. You know to start the year we have had three solid shows. You know so I appreciate all the previous guests that gave us the opportunity to honor celebrate them as well as you. You know I can appreciate you man. You know shout out to your whole family, shout out to all your friends them and everybody. You know.
Definitely, man. God bless and Mumbai, man. Much luck to your son. God bless him and just
Thank
even
you.
keep at it. It's all about the marathon, not the sprint. We don't get too
Facts.
caught up in the sprint and peaking at the right time is the most important thing. So
Very true.
um it's always about having hard work define you, whether it's sports or in just life, and just being humble and respecting everybody.
Facts. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Oh,
All
before
right,
you go,
Pam.
man,
Yeah,
before you
yeah.
go, man, I admiring those headphones all night. So what type of headphones them they be?
The same mine, This my wife for this Bose, I think. Something like that. Bose.
That's
Man,
big time. That's top notch. That's big
yeah,
time right
man.
there.
Oh,
And
that's Christmas,
you've been
man. It's only
you
once a year it's top notch, Me ain't get that kind of bread.
you've been on for almost 3 hours and your battery still going. So that's definitely good thing.
You need to go on Bose and run a review then and just talk to them about it. Maybe they could send us some. I need to start reviewing stuff. They can send us some game.
I'm about to write Bose right now. This is free promotion right here for Bose. We
Right?
definitely gotta make something
Especially if the people them from home start to cap it, but you know how we is. We gonna airbrush this hair. All this side could get airbrush. So a Peter man go customize it. You
But
know
that's
where to
good,
go.
man. Well, hey, keep doing your thing, man, and you keep look checking in on us. Subscribe to our YouTube page, Facebook.
Yeah,
Tell a friend, subscribe, and much
definitely.
love, man.
Definitely, man. I appreciate it, man. God bless you guys. All right. Thank
thank
you.
you.
You're welcome. And
All right.
to everybody that chill out and hang out with us today, the viewers, the regulars, Dwayne, Langi, give thanks to Ayo as well. As I always say, there's no us without Ayo. So much love to everybody, and everybody have a good night. Take me home, Mumba.
Everybody be safe, man. Until next time. Much love, everybody. Much love.